We are back at the O.co on a beautiful 72-degree evening. Those four ladies instrumental in Al Davis's reign here as the owner of the Oakland Raiders. Christy Bailey and Fudgy Karen Otten and a couple of others. Well, Tom, to light the torch, Al Davis would have been proud. They were so instrumental in running the office for Al Davis throughout his years in Oakland.
Yeah, it's a pretty sentimental thing for them to be able to do that. I talked to Fudgy today, and she was quite excited.
Yep. Let's check out, Plunk, our CHP Pursuit of Victory keys of the game. And it obviously, MJD will make the start tonight. He's got to be really amped up. Maurice Jones-Drew, his first home game as a Raider out of De La Salle High School. And you want to find out, establish the run game as number one. Who are the top wide receivers? Andre Holmes will not start tonight. James Jones will, along with Rod Streeter. Denarius Moore will be the third wide receiver, and also the pass defense against Matt Stafford. Calvin Johnson will not play tonight, but still, Matthew Stafford, 4,500 yards each of the last three games. So quite a test for Charles Woodson, the back line, and Justin Tuck to get after Stafford. Our California Highway Patrol and Office of Traffic Safety urge you to not drink and drive. John Kondo, Justin Tuck, Charles Woodson, along with quarterback Matt Schaub, will represent the Raiders in the flip of the coin. Bill Vinovich is our referee.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Tonight.
Heads? Tails. Detroit, you're the visitors. What is your call? Tails. He is called tails.
And Ndamukong Suh calls tails.
It is heads. You want the ball? Which way do you want to kick? Turn it around, please. Oakland has won the toss, select to receive.
Raiders will get the football first. Dennis Allen of the Raiders in their 2014 preseason opener. A bit flat, to be frank, last week in Minneapolis, Plunk. 10-6 loss to the Vikings, but they had two extraordinary days of work in Oxnard on Tuesday and Wednesday. They're set to go, and the new head coach of the Detroit Lions is Jim Caldwell, hired on January the 14th to take over for Jim Schwartz, who's now the defensive coordinator in Buffalo. Lions 6-3 to start last year, missed the playoffs again, 7-9. They can shut down the run and they can throw the football, so it'll be quite a challenge for the Raiders tonight, Plunk.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Even without Calvin Johnson, they've got some wide receivers and some tight ends who are very, very effective going down the field and catching a lot of passes, especially for touchdowns. Tight ends have contributed mightily.
Bobby April, the Raiders special teams coordinator, sending his group out. Latavius Murray is going to return the opening kick to begin the game, so Stafford and the Lions will have to wait for the ball. Murray in a real battle with Corey Sheets to be the third running back, Tom, behind Maurice Jones-Drew and Darren McFadden. So Murray will return kickoffs in the first half and Corey Sheets in the second half, something Latavius Murray has not done since high school, return kickoffs.
Yeah, he's a big guy to be returning kickoffs. Usually return guys are a little smaller and quicker, but he's a big guy with speed, and they're looking to get some kind of a crease where he can burst through and show that speed and see how powerful he is up the field.
Good to have the Raiders back in Oakland. A beautiful 72-degree evening. Latavius Murray will take the opening kickoff from Nate Freese, a rookie round 7 out of Boston College. For 21 years, it was Jason Hanson kicking off for the Lions last year. David Akers a 4-year. Now it's Freese, and there's a great kickoff all the way to the back of the end zone. Giorgio Tavecchio out of Cal will also be battling for that job. So a touchback, and Matt Schaub and the Raider offense, Plunk, will start on their 20-yard line. I think in light of the uneven play last week in Minnesota, although the numbers weren't all on him, it'd be nice to get Schaub off to a good start tonight.
Yeah, it certainly would be. And I think they probably have to take a few more snaps than they did last week. A little shaky start for Matt Schaub and the offensive line in particular, and the wide receivers. Maybe they're just not in sync yet, but that good couple of days down in Oxnard hopefully improved everything all the way around, especially their timing.
Schaub was 3 for 7, 21 yards in Minnesota. Michael Rivera flexes out the F position at tight end. There's a counter handoff to Maurice Jones-Drew. Good seal block by Marcel Reese. He'll fight, shift inside, and pick up 3 yards on the first play of the game. Let's check the Raider offensive line. Donald Penn, the new starter at left tackle. Khalif Barnes will start at left guard, but we'll see Gabe Jackson with the ones. Stefan Wisniewski at center. Austin Howard, longtime tackle, moves inside to guard. Menelik Watson at right tackle. James Jones from Gunderson High makes the start. Maurice Jones-Drew from De La Salle. They got to be pumped up. Rod Streeter, Michael Rivera, and Marcel Reese. Second down and 7 Raiders. Schaub handoff to Maurice Jones-Drew. Tries the left side where Ndamukong Suh is, and not a lot there. It'll bring up a 3rd down. Sue and Mosley started tackle. Nick Fairley benched tonight. George Johnson and Devin Taylor the defensive end. Stephen Tulloch, the middle linebacker. Ashley Palmer, one outside backer. DeAndre Levy, the other. The corners, Rasheem Mathis, the longtime Jaguar on one side. Darius Slay, a young corner, the other. James Ehedebo is their new strong safety, and Glover Quinn is the free safety. Denarius Moore comes in a 3rd down, 3 wide receiver look. They put Schaub in the gun. 3 receivers go right, including Michael Rivera. Here's a blitz up the middle from Levy. Schaub throws left. Caught by James Jones on Rasheem Mathis, Tom. And that was the back shoulder that Andre Holmes could not make last week in Minnesota. Yet again, boys, a flag is down on 3rd down. This one against the Lions?
I would hope so.
Holding. Defense
Yes,
number
it
28.
is.
They're emphasizing
Penalties
that part.
decline. Result of the play.
We know
First
that,
down.
Greg. They're emphasizing that part, the holding, the grabbing that shirt. Any part of that shirt that shows away from the body, they're going to throw the flag.
Nice offensive line play, Plunk. They came out of linebacker blitz. The middle backer Levy came. Wisniewski picked him up, and they fanned out to get the rest of the line.
Yeah, they set up a good line of protection for Matt Schaub. He's able to get back there and release the ball, but mainly started with the protection and picking up the blitz.
Now Schaub avoids the sack, gets it out to Streeter, goes high and gets spilled by Rasheem Mathis on the Raider 43-yard line. Schaub gets up limping a little bit. He all right? Let's take a look as he play action. Darren McFadden came into the game and he had to get rid of the ball quickly. He got out of the way, but he went down hard. Stephen Tulloch blasted him. But he's all right. Rod Streeter's so good. Remember last year playing with Terrell Pryor. He's so good in the scramble drill, uncovering when things get a bit chaotic. 2nd and 4. Raiders go to a pistol, a diamond formation. Quick spin, a handoff to Darren McFadden out of the pistol. And he'll peck forward for a couple. So he had Schaub coach in the shotgun with McFadden behind him and blocking backs on each side of the quarterback.
Yeah, and they just protect the corners on each side regardless of which way they go. That time there was a little counter move to the right side of the offensive line. Not much of a hole, but he still managed to pick up a yard or 2.
3rd down and 2. Khalif Barnes has now left the game, and the Raiders bring in Gabe Jackson to play at left guard. And you may see if they convert this 3rd down, Khalif coming in to play tight end. A bunch formation left, and Arius Moore singled up. They're showing blitz off the corner. Aaron McFadden pointing off the blitzing corner that may come. 3rd down, quick throw out left, catch. Michael Rivera breaks a tackle, cuts inside on Mathis, and dropped finally on the Lion 37-yard line. Beautifully done, Tom, on a 3rd down to Michael Rivera on the catch and run.
Yeah, Michael was showing some pretty quick and fancy feet there, Plunk. Cut you the little simple out pattern, picked up the 1st down, and then just made some elusive moves there with the quick dancing feet.
Yeah, he's definitely the receiving tight end of this Raiders offense, and he showed what he can do when he gets out there and makes somebody miss and picks up some extra yards.
18-yard pickup there. Raiders again put Schaub in the shotgun. Reese to one side, McFadden the other. It's a lead play off a different formation. And he picks up about 5. That's the old lead play, Tom, but they do it out of a shotgun. McFadden to the right, Reese to the left. Reese goes through and Darren comes in right behind him.
Yeah, pretty simple play, really, but it's out of a passing formation, so you try to get the line and maybe widen their splits and go up the field so you can get inside the defensive end.
Raiders on the move, starting on their 20. They're inside the Lion 35. 2nd and 4 Raiders on the Detroit 34-yard line. Schaub under center now. Darren McFadden in an offset eye. Marcel Reese going to move right to left. Straight drop, 3 steps, throws through the hands of Jones. Intercepted by Ehedebo. Running back the other way. Only Penn can stop him, and he will. James Ehedebo. On the interception, the ball went right through the hands of James Jones.
Yeah, I don't know how catchable that was. It was a pretty tough throw and catch, and it just seemed to be knocked up in the air by the defender, and James Jones couldn't come down with it.
A tough break there as Schaub delivered the ball, and James Jones right through his hands. Ehedebo with the interception at a 30-yard return. Lion ball when we come back on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Greg Olson showing the quarterbacks what happened on the newfangled tablets downstairs, Jim. It looked like the corner Mathis knocked that ball out of the hands of James Jones up into the air.
Yeah, it certainly did. I think he played it extremely well. The timing was right, and he just got his hands in between James Jones's hands and it popped up in the air, unfortunately, for the interception.
1st and 10 for the Lions. Eric Ebron, the big tight end from North Carolina, goes in motion. A handoff to Reggie Bush. Pecks in the hole inside the 30. Finally dropped by Lamar Woodley. But a nice gain there by Reggie Bush. Matthew Stafford, the numbers are just amazing. He's already passed Bobby Lane for career passing yards, over 4,500 yards, 3 consecutive years. The only other quarterback in the history of the league, coach, to do that is Drew Brees. This is a top 5, to be sure, NFL offense, and Jim Caldwell was the quarterback coach in Indy before being the head coach, so he's going to bring that precision with his passing game. Gain of 8 on the run by Bush, 2nd and 2. That's Golden Tate goes in motion, watched by Terrell Brown. Stafford a 5-step drop, looks left, and a lob one. Open touchdown! They blew the coverage. Terrell Brown bit on the double move there at Golden Tate, and it's a 28-yard touchdown.
Way too easy. Way too easy. Just a little pump fake to the left on a little out and up move, and Terrell Brown just bit on it. Wholeheartedly bit on it. I don't think he had any help deep. I think he had it all the way.
He beat him by 5 yards. It was a good move, good throw. That's the way you draw it up. And Tate finished with a great year last year. Had 60 receptions for Seattle in their Super Bowl stretch run.
And signed as a free agent this past March. Terrell Brown did not have a good game last Friday in Minnesota. He had tight coverage on court. That ball hit the upright. The extra point is no good. So we've seen our first 33-yard miss here by the rookie place kicker Nate Freese from Boston College. It is a 33-yard extra point in essence, and he hit the right upright. But Terrell Brown gets roasted on a double move, just an out and up, and he bit. 6-0 Lions with 9:52 to go in the opening quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Well, Matthew Stafford all smiles after a touchdown pass to Golden Tate. Let's take a look at the drive summary brought to you by the NHTSA. Cops all across the country are cracking down on drunk driving, and there's one thing you can be sure of: they'll see you before you see them. Drive sober or get pulled over. 2 plays, 36 yards off the 38-yard interception return by James Hedebo. Here's the kickoff by Freese. This will be a shorter one that'll bounce. Murray with his left hand tips it up, now runs it back, and he's hit and dropped shy of the 20-yard line by running back George Wynn. So what happened on the double move there? Matt Schaub on the interception, Tom, but you can't have safety help where that ball, where that pattern was run, and Terrell Brown just got beat in a double move.
Yeah, an experienced, receiver in Golden Tate. It was hot last year, as Jim mentioned, at the end of the year for Seattle, and I'm sure they got him so he could complement Calvin Johnson, who we know is outstanding.
Yeah, he's not going to play tonight. Calvin Johnson coming back from 2 off-season surgeries and a finger to knee. The Lions lost Nate Burleson now with the Cleveland Browns, so they signed Golden Tate. Michael Rivera goes in motion. 1st and 10 Raiders down 6-0. Counter handoff to Maurice Jones-Drew. And he's grabbed from behind by the defensive tackle Mosley. C.J. Mosley, who was starting tonight over Nick Fairley. So we saw MJD plunk on the first series. Then we saw a little bit of Darren McFadden.
Right.
It'll be intriguing to see how they use MJD and DMC together this year.
Yeah, it will be. They're both very versatile. Both can catch the ball coming out of the backfield. So they're very similar in their styles.
Raiders coming on the line a little slower this series. They were much quicker on their first possession. They were moving well until the tip ball and interception. 2nd down and 7 Raiders on their 22. Again, a shotgun formation. James Jones comes in motion. Stacked behind Streeter. He gets hit a Schaub, and it's incomplete. He got pressure right in the middle of the front there. Jason Jones came in, and Donald Levy, the linebacker, both came. Stephen Tullock was also there, and Matt Schaub got hit, coach, as he threw the ball. There was a little stun in the middle of the front there.
Yeah,
a little twist.
Penetration up the middle is terrible, because that eliminates the opportunity for the quarterback to step up in the pocket as he did earlier on their first drive.
And that's twice now that Matt Schaub has gone down pretty hard.
As the old Pittsburgh Steeler blitz where they cross the 2 inside backers. The line defensive coordinator is Terrell Austin, but Gunther Cunningham kind of lording over their defense. He loves to blitz. 3rd down, Schaub back. There's pressure from Jones and a throwaway to MJD. Now the Raiders offensive line, the strength is run blocking, not pass blocking. They had a hard time there but Jason Jones and Matt Schaub had no chance on second or third down.
No, they were coming after him once on a blitz, one on just a four-man rush, and you got to be able to protect the quarterback, set up that real strong front for him, and make those defensive ends go outside, hold the tackles real tough up the middle so the quarterback can step up and make the throw. And right now that's not happening.
Jeremy Ross is back to return the punt here of Marquette King. Ross, the former Cal Bear, had a tremendous year as a kickoff and a punt returner. In fact, he had in that snow game against Philadelphia, had a kick return for a score and a punt returner for a score. Much shorter kick for Marquette King. Takes a lion bounce towards midfield. Not a good roll there from Marquette King, who punted so well last Friday in Minnesota with the exception of one punt. And the first one tonight, not a great one, only 36 yards for King. 6-0 Lions, 8:44 to go in the first quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Matthew Stafford, who threw 29 touchdown passes a year ago, sixth in the NFL, has got one tonight. Riley Reif is his left tackle. Rob Sims, left guard. Dominic Raiola, the longtime center. Larry Warford is on the right guard spot, and LeAdrian Waddle. Golden Tate. Chris Durham playing for Megatron. They have three great tight ends. And Reggie Bush, and they have a fullback in Detroit for the first time since 2010. Here's a bubble screen to Golden Tate. Nice open field tackle there by what I'm sure is the angry Terrell Brown. As we check the Raider defensive line, Justin Tuck, Lamar Woodley are the ends with Pat Sims and Antonio Smith inside. Nick Roach in the middle. C.O. Moore will start at weak side linebacker tonight over Miles Burris. And Khalil Mack is the strong side linebacker. Carlos Rogers and Terrell Brown are the corners. Charles Woodson and Tyvon Branch the safeties. Second down and 6, Detroit on their 46th. Header on second base of the dirt baseball infielder at the O.Co. Inside handoff to Reggie Bush. Hit it midfield. And pushing forward, he stopped there. And that'll bring up a third down and short. C.O. Moore on the tackle for the Raiders. Tom did not start last week at the weak side linebacker. He is today, and he had a good week of practice in Oxnard.
Yeah, I hear he was really fired up till you got the crowd fired up.
Yeah, he was alive in Oxnard.
Well, he's pretty good. He's a pretty good motivator, really. He's got an engine that never stops.
Third down and 2. Joik Bell, a bigger back, is in for the Lions. They go into a true eye. They have a fullback on the roster for the first time since 2010. Lead play. Joik Bell with a deke in the hole, and he runs for the first down. Behind the fullback, Jed Collins, formerly of New Orleans. Joik Bell, much bigger back, Blanc at 230 pounds to Reggie Bush's 205. He'll be the short yardage guy.
You're going to use that kind of running back in short yardage and goal line situations. Pound it right at the center of that defensive line. Exactly what he did there. Tough to stop.
First down for the Lions on the Raider 46-yard line. Joik Bell out of Wayne State, a tiny Division II school. Actually came into the league as a rookie free agent with Buffalo. Actually took some carries away from Michael LaShore last year. Here's Stafford, handoff to Bell. Dancing in the hole away from Pat Sims. Then he gets buried by the Raider front. C.O. Moore in the tackle there along with Nick Roach. They'll bring up a second down and short.
And Justin Tuck had good penetration, just couldn't make the tackle.
Raider defense swarming. They're a little angry after the way it went in Minnesota last week, Tom, and the way it started tonight.
Well, the way it started tonight was too quick. I mean, they struck very quickly on the turnover and then the little down and out move. At that time, very well played. He came up with only a 1-yard gain.
Second and 9 for Stafford out of the shotgun. Quick check down to Reggie Bush, right flat. Tackled beautifully by Carlos Rogers. That was textbook by Rogers. Dropped the shoulder plunk and drove him to the sideline.
Yeah, last two screens actually, both Terrell Brown and now Carlos Rogers coming up, getting underneath the blocks and making the tackle for very little gain.
Yeah, just did a nice job position-wise. Kept his leverage good and just put his shoulder right in his gut.
And he's always been a good tackler. Carlos Rogers began his career with the Washington Redskins, the last 3 with the 49ers. Third down and 8. Raider Nation wants a stop here. Stafford on the Raider 45. Crowd getting loud, so he's running down to each line to tell them the play and the snap count. Raiders showing blitz. Here they come. C.O. Moore. Stafford throws middle. Wide open. Caught by the rookie tight end Ebron. First down Detroit on the Raider 20. They came with a blitz. They brought C.O. Moore and Eric Ebron, the First tight end taken in the draft, got open over the middle for a gain of 18.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that coverage was, but right now it looks like the coverage guy, somebody blew the coverage. Charles Woodson came up on the play action.
And Seal Moore came out of blitz, and Nick Roach let Ebron get behind. Matt Stafford has hit his first 4 for 56 yards. Eric Ebron on top of Brandon Pettigrew and Joseph Fourier, who caught 7 touchdowns last year. They got some tight ends. Quick throw out to Durham. Chris Durham, who started the night for Calvin Johnson, who won't play, former Seattle Seahawk, on the quick one. Well, he's a big target, almost a tight end in size at 6'6". Well, they got 3 tight ends, Tom. They could run a package of what's known as 13 personnel in the NFL, 1 back and 3 tight ends.
Yeah, they're all big guys. They're all young guys. 2 of them are first-round choices, so they're pretty well loaded in that department.
Well, you get into that 13 personnel, you think you got to hunker down, short yardage, then they could spread them out because Ebron and Pettigrew and Fourier are all pass catchers. 2nd and 8. Stafford out of the gun, inside the Raider red zone. Throw, caught, Golden Tate. That'll be a 1st and goal on the Raider 9-yard line. Golden Tate plunks into a great slot receiver, and that time he matched up with Carlos Rogers and got beat there. Rogers did.
And you saw Golden Tate's experience there. He came back for the ball, didn't wait for it, made that throw by Stafford a lot easier, believe me, and they can't quite get to Stafford right now.
Well, they can't get to him. They play in the zone that time. No pass rush with the zone. You're giving them a lot of seams to hit.
Actually, it was Terrell Brown who had the initial coverage on Golden Tate, and then Carlos Rogers rolled over. Joik Bell now in the tail of an offset out of the left. 1st and goal from the 9. Cutback run, breaks a tackle to Nick Roach. Flag down, thrown by the umpire. This will be a hold on the Lions' interior line here. The Raiders at last get a break here. There's Bill Vinovich.
Holding. Offense number 66. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, Adrian Waddle, the right tackle, in a real battle with his guy behind him. Corey Hillard is called for the hold there. Got it on Lamar Woodley. Grabbed the shoulder, Tom, and didn't let go.
Yeah, didn't let go. Woodley was escaping the block, and then as he turned to get away from him, he just yanked on him.
Jim Caldwell, 3 years the head coach in Indianapolis, and then after that he was the quarterback coach in Baltimore. They fired Cam Cameron late in the year, made him the offensive coordinator, and the Ravens won the Super Bowl that year. There's Stafford. Going to set up a screen through Reggie Bush's hands, incomplete. He dropped it. And he was going to get blasted by Charles Woodson, who read screen.
Yeah, they did that, played that very well, put pressure on Stafford. He couldn't hold the ball very long, and he had to throw into a crowd, and he's thrown inaccurately because of the pressure on him.
There was one Heisman Trophy winner reading a screen to the other. By Charles Woodson, Tom, his instincts playing safety, you can just see it, are much better this year than last year.
Yeah, but that's how. But he gets in trouble by overreacting sometimes. He reads it so quickly. He gets in trouble.
He's a playmaker. Yeah. He's susceptible to the double move, which hurt Terrell Bryan. 2nd down and long, 2nd and 20. Stafford in the pressure, gets away from the sack, and a run out right. Throw, catch. And it's Ogletree, the former Dallas Cowboy, down to the Raider 4-yard line. Kevin Ogletree with a 15-yard gain, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and goal.
A good play by Stafford, gets out of trouble there.
He was talking to the referee Vinovich. I think he thought one of the Raiders grabbed his headgear.
Yeah, he was. He motioned that to the referee.
You know those quarterbacks, they all complain.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford, like you, Plunk, a little later vintage, the #1 overall pick in the draft back in 2009. He's hit 7 of his first 8. 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Raiders showing blitz. Roach, Woodson, Branch, they all come. Jump ball, caught for a touchdown by Durham. He took it away from T.J. Carey. A flag is down. Will that be on Carey? Boy, Durham's just got the size at 6'6". They threw him a fade, the old school fade, Tom. He went up and took the ball away. What's the flag for? It's going to be against the Raiders.
Defense, number 38. Penalties declined. Result of the play. Touchdown.
It's on T.J. Carey, just a jump ball, Coach, and the bigger guy won.
Yeah, the bigger guy won. It wasn't even that great a throw. He just went out and out-muscled him before Carey didn't have any idea where the ball was.
He was a lot bigger, a lot taller. He was able to reach over the top of DJ and make the grab for this touchdown.
Now, the reason the Raiders like T.J. Carey, he's a big corner. He's 6 feet tall, but Durham is 6'6".
Oh, there you go.
That's a big difference when you're trying to get a rebound, essentially, just a jump ball. Here's the point after again from 33 yards out, and this time Nate Freeze drills it through, and the Raiders right now in a deep freeze, not playing well. Down 13-0 as Matthew Stafford throws his second touchdown pass of the game's first 13 minutes. From Oakland, this is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Well, Raider defense trying to sort out what is happening here against the top 5 offense in a state-of-the-art passing game. Jason Tarver taking a look at the old school stills, trying to figure it out as the Lions go 11 plays, 58 yards, 6:42 off the clock, and even without Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford just dissecting the Raider defense.
Yeah, he certainly is, you know. But this
ball fell off the tee, and they'll re-tee it, and Nate Freeze will kick it again.
But Stafford is experienced guys. He's attacking where you need to attack, and he's getting pretty good protection. Although they're putting some heat on him, he's still getting the ball off and causing problems for the Raider defense.
He was 7 for 8 on that drive alone for 59 yards and his second touchdown. So Freeze will kick it off. Another good strong kick. Latavius Murray is 8 yards deep in the end zone. He will take a knee, and the Raiders' third offensive series will commence from their 20-yard line, and Matt Schaub and the offense needs to restore their confidence here against the Lions that have roared to a 13-0 lead on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Back on the Raiders Broadcasting Network, Detroit 13, Oakland nothing. A lot of time was spent this week on Oxnard. Coming out flat against the Vikings, getting to Oxnard, winning the battles against the Dallas Cowboys. Not the case tonight. The coaches are really getting into the players, Greg, down here. Another flat start. Schaub needs to pick it up, and the defense, they have to get off the field on third down.
And they were just so energized by those 2 days of practicing with the Cowboys. Shot back, looks right now, left, throws, flag down, ball incomplete. 2 flags down, one on each half of the field. Rasheem Mathis covering Rod Streeter. You would think this would be a defensive violation, a hold of some kind, Coach, on the Lions. Here's Bill Vinovich.
Well, the flag on both sides of the field, so both outside receivers there was an infraction on whether it was against them or against the defense. We'll find out right now, but right now it's probably against the defense.
Bill Vinovich, longtime side judge in the NFL on Dick Hantak and Ed Hockley's crew, was a referee in 04. Then he had a bit of a heart condition, went inside the league office.
2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Holding, defense number 32. That penalty's declined. Illegal contact, defense number 32.
He did both.
5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Hedebo, known as a very physical player, former New York Jet and Patriot and Raven.
The hold was on number 23.
No, he didn't get both. He got just one. Darius Slay got the other one. But they were so energized, Plunk. The coaching staff could not believe the Raider Nation taking over Oxnard. And they were flat in Minnesota last week, but they were so energized Tuesday and Wednesday. It's shocking that they're coming out flat again after the energy they had midweek.
Well, yeah, you know, there's no excuses. I know the Raiders have a lot of new players, but, you know, they've got to start coming together at some point.
First and 10, Raiders on their 25. Jameis Alawale, offset right, handoff to Maurice Jones-Drew. He got hit behind the line twice, Tom. And we talked about the strength of the Raider offense is the offensive line. The strength of the Lion defense is their front, but right now the Lions are pushing it back.
Well, the front's making a good, they're doing a good job of keeping the offensive line off of their linebackers. Tulloch made the play that time. Tulloch's a very good middle linebacker. We remember him from Tennessee.
Absolutely. 5 years with the Titans, a 3-year starter, now 4-year Lion. Last year he had 135 tackles. Second and 13, MJD lost 3, so Darren McFadden is in. Straight handoff, lead play behind Alawale. And he gets back to the 25, setting up a third down and long. Khalif Barnes was out for a play, and now he's back in. They are rotating Gabe Jackson in at left guard. And what that allows the Raiders to do is to play Khalif Barnes at a tight end position as well, which they'll do later with the injuries. Gabe leaves. David Osbury's out with a knee injury. A tough break this week. Nick Casa tore his left anterior cruciate ligament. He's going to be out the year. And the Raiders are thin at tight end, and Khalif can play that swing tackle hybrid tight end. 3rd and 10. Flag down. Hold on the Raiders. Throw. Catch by Moore. 30. He's tackled shy of the first down. So the hold will probably be declined here, Tom. It'll be a 4th down and 2, but they held right away there. The umpire again threw it.
Yeah, that must have been right at the line of scrimmage where that happened. That flag came out quick.
Hands to the face.
Oh.
Offense number 69.
Khalif
10-yard
Barnes.
penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Raiders had a problem with that flunk last week in Minnesota with the blocking up around the headgear.
Yeah, they're calling them very tightly now. Anything around above the shoulder pads is going to be called, whether it be offense or defense. And the Raiders are making the majority of these penalties as of last week and this week right now.
After a pause, obviously Jim Caldwell, coach, will decline this and take the punt, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Well, 4th and 2 or 3rd and 20. Kind of walking off slowly here. Bobby April is the special teams unit coming out late. Marquette King will come in and punt the ball.
Detroit has elected to decline the penalty. Result 4th down.
Yeah, Lions have declined the penalty. Play clock is not yet started here, so a little slow tempo to this game. They have to punt the ball before the end of the quarter. There's 37 seconds to go in the quarter, and the play clock's at 25. Why does Bobby April, Tom, have the special teams over to the side? They'd have to punt it here eventually, right?
Well, I'm not sure.
Not sure what the Raiders are thinking here.
I wonder why they haven't started.
It's not 4th and 34. It's 4th and 2. They took the play. But once he winds it, they'll run out and punt the ball. Everybody's in preseason form, including the officiating crew. A little slow. Well, Marquette King will punt, and Jeremy Ross is back, the former Cal Bear. This will be one of the last plays of the opening quarter. Good snap by Kondo. Marquette King gets it away in a much better punt. Great hang time. Ross to his left will call for a fair catch at around the 13-yard, and that punt was up 4 6/10 of a second. So a nice bounce back for King after the first effort. That was a 55-yard punt, Tom.
Yeah.
Up 4.5 seconds. That is textbook.
And no return. Yeah.
No return. 55 net. We'll take that all night. Matthew Stafford just on top of his game, Jim. 8 for 9, 87 yards. Right, and he gets Calvin Johnson. This is some passing game. Huh?
Yeah, it certainly is. And, put up big numbers over the last several years, but in the last 5 years, since Matthew Stafford has been with the Detroit Lions, they've only had one winning season and one playoff appearance.
Yep.
Last year
11,
7 and 9.
Went 10 and 6, then they went down to 4 and 12. And last year they were 7 and 9. 1st and 10, Lions on the 14. Handoff, Joik Bell. A little stretch run will be the final play of the opening quarter. Justin Tuck makes the tackle along with Miles Burris. So it started well, and then the interception. He had a bow on the return. Terrell Brown gets roasted on a double move, and then it caved in from there. So a long way to go, but after 1 quarter of play, it is all Lions. They lead the Raiders by a score of 13-0 on our radio and TV simulcast on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. With 1 quarter down, it's time for our Geico 15-minute review. What does it mean when Geico says just 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance? It means you probably should have gone to geico.com 15 minutes ago. Lions 13-0 lead after 15 minutes. They outgained the Raiders 107 to 58 yards. Changed ends now. Lions in their traveling white, silver helmets, and the Hawaiian blue, Honolulu blue piping. And move north to south. Here's a counter run to Reggie Bush. Got stuffed by Justin Tuck. Huge stop there by Tuck as he broke through virtually unblocked to nail Reggie Bush behind the line.
Yeah, that was a slow hitting play. It was a counter, and he just came right down the line, and nobody was protecting that backside. That was an easy play for Justin.
Brandon Pettigrew, a little sweep action plunk, just did not block Justin Tuck, and it's probably a good idea to block Justin Tuck.
Yeah, you would think. He got deep penetration. Actually, by the time he turned around, Tuck was past him and making the tackle.
3rd down and 13 now for Matthew Stafford. They go 3 wide receivers right, and Chris Durham is singled up left on Terrell Brown. Stafford Setting up a screen, throws middle to Reggie Bush, a dangerous ball. 10, Carlos Rogers as the angle will run him out of bounds, well short of the first down. Plunk, for a moment I thought he was going to ground the ball to throw it to Reggie Bush's feet. Raiders were all over that, but he sidearmed and slipped it in there very dangerously.
You got it right to him, though. He was just clear of the offensive lineman, didn't have any protection, so he ran the opposite direction. Tried to pick up some yards, but just didn't have the angle. It was run out, as you said, by Carlos Rogers.
First punt of the game for the Detroit Lions. They're 4th and 12 now. Sam Martin, the second-year punter out of Appalachian State, had a tremendous season last year. 47.2 gross, 6th in the NFL, and the 40.4 an all-time Lion net record. This one shot up straight, very short. Denarius Moore back to return. It will bounce his way. Demo will back away with the roll. It'll land inside the Raider 40 on the Raider 39-yard line. So Martin mishit that ball, but with the roll, turned out to be a 48-yarder. Not bad. 13:31 to go in the half. Lions 13-0 on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Won 2 Super Bowls, and I know what kind of player he is because the 2 times they went, they had to go through Green Bay. And so, I know what he brings to the table. And for me, just having him, really brings some validity to our defense, having a guy on the side that has one and still has a lot of football left in him.
That's Charles Woodson, who has 1 Super Bowl ring, but Justin Tuck has 2 Super Bowls, 42 and 46 with the New York Giants, 6th all-time on the Giant list for career sacks. A defensive captain, a 2-time Pro Bowler, was raised by Michael Strahan, and now he's the veteran on this Raider defense. And Charles Woodson's got the back end tightened up, talking to Jason Tarver, the Raider defensive coordinator. And Justin Tuck and Lamar Woodley, Antonio Smith have the front, Tom, and then you've got Nick Roach in the middle, so they got veterans on all levels. Bill Vinovich, our referee, is going over to talk to Jim Caldwell. They're going to challenge. What are they going to challenge here? The punt? Here's Bill Vinovich.
Detroit is challenging the ruling on the field. The ball was not touched. We'll
they've respotted the ball on the punt. The punt rolled further on the punt by the Lions a moment ago, Sam Martin, and they marked it since we went to break closer to midfield. So Jim Caldwell, I didn't think it was touched when we watched it live. They have put the ball on the Raider 47-yard line. So they get a challenge.
Yeah, they'd gain, what, about 5 yards maybe?
Yeah, they just want to get used to it. Jim Caldwell, the head coach again, taking over for Tony Dungy in Indianapolis. Let's see, here's Martin. Will get the punt away. Did a Lion touch it before it rolled further? Right there, it may have hit Travis Lewis, number 50. That touch him, though?
Well, they must have said it touched him. It bounced right around his feet.
That was too late coming in. Couldn't see it.
But there was nothing conclusive here on when it did touch him.
Well, they marked it on the 46, 47-yard line, so it'd be right. Did it hit his foot when the ball was in flight? They're saying it hit his left cleat, which I think is debatable. The question is, do they have enough to overturn it?
Yeah, I saw Coach Caldwell talking to him, and of course he said no.
Yeah, watching it live, I didn't think it did touch him, but that's what they called. I was not even aware they spotted the ball there till he challenged. So Jim Caldwell back on the sidelines, Tom, and take one more look to see if it hits the linebacker Lewis. It does maybe appear to hit his hand there and take a roll. So we'll see. It won't be big yardage. It'll be the difference of about 7 or 8 yards. But Caldwell took over for Tony Dungy, and right away they went 14-2 the first year. Lost to Dennis Allen and the New Orleans Saints in the Super Bowl, and came back the next year, went 10-6, and then Peyton Manning got hurt. And they went 2-14, so it all changed quickly for Jim Caldwell with Indy.
Yeah, it certainly did, and they just really didn't have an experienced backup quarterback. They never thought they were going to lose Peyton Manning through injury, and of course it occurred, and they really didn't have the right guy to step in and take his place. Not that there is a right guy, but somebody who can lead that team.
Turned out okay. They were down 1 year and got Andrew Luck.
Absolutely, worked
the
out
first
perfectly
overall
for him.
pick. All right, so while they figure out where the Raider drive will start, we want to invite you to join us on the radio side only. Network TV, CBS will have the Raiders game in Lambeau. That'll be a homecoming for Reggie McKenzie. That's next Friday. Winding up the preseason, back on the radio and TV simulcast on the 28th, a Thursday night against the defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks. And then the season starts in New York, September the 7th against the New York Jets. Raiders play 3 of their first 4 technically on the road, although the Dolphin game at Wembley Stadium in late September is a home game. It will be in London, England. So a very tough schedule to start the year. Here's Bill Vinovich.
After reviewing the play, the ball did not touch the Detroit Lion player. Therefore, it would be 1st and 10 for Oakland at the 39.5 on the Oakland hash. Detroit has not charged a timeout and won the challenge.
I think we'll all agree that's correct. So
they gained 7.5 yards.
Yeah, good challenge by Jim Caldwell. Just wants to get used to it. Well, the Raiders' drive will be inside the 40. Matt Schaub, Plunk, started good well, and then the ball went through Jones's hands. He hit a ball with the interception, and now he's not getting the same protection in the pocket. He's not holding up the line is. So I think it's important they get a nice drive and try to get him some rhythm here on this series.
Yeah, certainly it's important. You know, they want to build his confidence, get him a good feel for the offense, and get the ball, out to the hands of the receivers.
Raiders down 13-0 with 13:31 to go in the half. Offset out of the right. There's movement on the line. Nick Fairley, who just came in, jumped off sides. Did the Raiders move, though? I don't think so. And Ndamukong Suh and Nick Fairley, their 2 former #1 picks, I think both jumped off sides, didn't they, Tom?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Whether they were drawn off, we'll find out here.
And C.J. Mosley started for Nick Fairley.
And Fairley comes in, Plunk, and he jumps off sides right away. They both move, Suh and Fairley.
Yeah, and they're complaining about Fairley's weight. He's about 30 pounds overweight, and they're not real happy with him.
And he was down in the low 300s this offseason. Now he's up to about 320.
69.
And Khalif Barnes is eligible, number 69, playing as a tight end. The Lions elected not to pick up the 5th-year option on Nick Fairley, which is really interesting. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He's a former high draft pick, #1. They fake the draw. Schaub to MJD. Check down left to the fullback. Reese room to go midfield. And he gets shoved out of bounds hard by DeAndre Levy. And a nice check down there. Schaub to Marcel Reese, Tom, for a good chunk back of 10 yards. First down, Raiders.
Yeah, Schaub looking to go downfield on that one. He was looking deep to Denarius Moore, I believe. And there was nothing there. There was a big cushion underneath him. So there he goes.
And not a bad guy to get the ball in his hands, though.
Absolutely.
Marcel Reese, he can do a lot of things.
Key there, Schaub had time, Plunk.
Yes, he did.
And it was well protected. Raiders going to a shotgun now on the Lion 45. Schaub has MJD to his right, Marcel Reese to his left. They show blitz. Here they come. Nobody picks it up. Quick throw and a drop. Marcel Reese leaked out. Instead of blocking Kyle Van Noy, who came on the blitz, the rookie round 2 linebacker from BYU, he just ran right around him. It would have been a big play, but Marcel, so unusual for him, dropped the ball.
No, I think that was a hot read by the quarterback and Marcel. The linebacker came. He was going to have to get rid of it real quick. And he did. He could have been caught.
Yeah, it was a catchable ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcel, a former wide receiver at the University of Washington, Tom. We haven't seen him drop too many like that.
No, he's mad at himself. I can tell that.
Ryan Leonhardt comes in at tight end, an inline blocker on the left side. 2nd and 10. Reese goes in motion, turns, goes back as a right wing. 3-step drop, throw quick. One knocked away by Rasheem Mathis. He read the 3-step drop, Plunk, and drove on it. Almost pick-sixed it there, jumping the route to Streeter.
Yeah, and that, it was well read by Rasheem Mathis. Jumped on the ball. Probably not a very good route by the receiver.
Got to come back to the ball, don't you?
Yeah, you do, but you got to run that guy off.
Yeah.
But they haven't been running deep patterns, so there's no reason. He's probably settling and waiting for that throw to come.
Yeah, there's no reason for the defensive backs to play any deeper. They're not getting challenged.
He's a good player. Longtime Jacksonville Jaguar, a Pro Bowler, 1 year an alternate. 3rd down, Schaub throws, caught by Rivera, but he's tackled shy of the 1st down. That was 3rd down and 10. It'll be like 4th down and 2.
Yeah, and they're going to go for it, I think.
I think it'd be a good idea. There's no reason not to.
Well, they do want to get Janikowski work off the dirt, and I think that's why Jano didn't do anything last week, and the crowd's not going to like it. But the reason you play these games is to get ready for the regular season, not to necessarily win the game. All Janikowski did last week in Minnesota was kick off in the 2nd half. So you got the Holdner issue, they have the trust back. There's a long kick here, 55-yarder, Tom, off the dirt.
Yeah, he made one in a pregame warm-up right from that spot right there.
Lions just ran a 12th player off the field. Janikowski drills it from 55. A flag is down. I think the Lions had 12 guys on the field. But that one Lion get off the field in time, so you could take the points off the board, Tom, and now go 1st down. think they had 12 on the field.
Well, that depends on whether Dennis, Allen's going to take the points off the board.
Well, it's good work. You kick the field goal. You know you can make that, but now let's let the offense play more. There's Bill Vinovich.
12 men on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Now, George Johnson, the young lineman from Rutgers, tried to get off, did not. So why not? You made the field goal. That's good work.
Right.
And now you let the offense go back on the field, Plunk.
And run some more plays, get used to this offense.
That's what this is all about, to get set for September the 7th in the Jets. Well, he nailed that one time, right down the middle.
And the good thing about that is that the confidence that he's building now with Marquette King, they've been working a lot before camp even started on their relationship and the holding kick.
That's a good point, because they had troubles last year.
First time in years, Sebastian actually flew back for the organized team activities in the minicamp like 2 months early. He normally was not seen here until the mandatory camp in June. Handoff Maurice Jones-Drew. And Hedebo really plays the run so well. Came in and slammed that for nothing. They'll bring up a second down and long. Lions a good rush defense. They ranked 6th in the NFL last year. Under 100 yards a game allowed on the ground. Hedebo wasn't even with them last year, signed as a free agent in late March. He's a thumper. 12 minutes to play in the first half. Raiders down 13-0. Second and 10 Raiders. Schaub under center, offset out of the right. Marcel Reese, the fullback, out of Maurice Jones-Drew. Now Marcel goes in long motion, picked up by a corner. Rasheem Mathis. Schaub looks left, throws, caught by Streeter. Tackled by the linebacker Van Noy. And around the Lion 30-yard line. Short gain of only a couple there.
Yeah. It was completion, but it wasn't very much of an effort to try to get down and pick up a few more yards.
Third down and 8 for the Raiders. Raiders were, when Schaub was in the game in Minnesota, were 0 for 3 on third downs. They've done much better on third down so far tonight. Third down and 8 coming up. Schaub in the gun. Streeter and Moore slotted right. James Jones singled up against Mathis left. Here comes 2 linebackers and a blitz. Schaub hit as he throws. Incomplete. And a flag came in late. Let's see, it's in the deep secondary. And they ran that inside linebacker Pittsburgh Steeler cross blitz that the Raiders did not pick up.
Yeah, they better do something about that, because they haven't done that. They haven't picked it up all night.
Hold on the Lions here.
This flag could go against Lions.
Yep.
Which is
there are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Both holding. Number 28, that penalty is declined. Number 31, that penalty is accepted. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They got Rasheem Mathis and their nickel corner, Bill Bentley. Tom, there were 105 defensive holding violations in week 1.
Yeah.
Bentley's in the slot against Streeter. Oh, he held it.
Yeah, there's no question there. He got his arm right across his chest, and you can't do that. You know, Mathis is a good player. He's a Pro Bowl player. He's played the Pro Bowl once, and I think he was an Albany another time. Yeah.
So Jacksonville. Will they call the holds like they're calling it now, or will they back off when the season starts?
They might back off a little bit, but they're still going to emphasize it.
There's a straight drop by Schaub. There's a hold on the Raiders interior line. Schaub rolling left and throws it away. Right outside the tackle box to avoid the grounding. Now the offensive line front, they're run blocking better than their pass blocking right now.
I'm not even sure about that. We haven't run the ball very effectively, so, you know, it's hard to say. But
yeah, but they're coming with blitzes up the middle a lot. Yeah.
Hands in the face. Offense number 69. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Khalif Barnes, another hands to the face. One thing we're seeing, Tom, not just the defensive holding, but we're seeing more emphasis on not going to the headgear and blocking on offense.
Yeah, that's a killer right there. I mean, look, all of a sudden you were down on the 25-yard line, and all of a sudden you're back on the 35-yard line. It was first and a bunch.
First and 20. On a sputtering drive. Start and stops and go forward and move back. And there's a straight drop, a screen out to Maurice Jones-Drew. Austin Howard out to block. Jones-Drew 20. First down, Raiders all the way to the Lions 12-yard line. Beautifully executed that time. And they got big Austin Howard plunked the right guard out in space.
Yeah, you don't want to get in his way as he rambles down the field blocking for Maurice Jones-Drew. But, well executed play. Maurice Jones-Drew gets out there, dumps the ball to him. Got two guys.
That's quite a sight, isn't it?
Oh yeah, have those big guys in front of you down the field.
Jones-Drew behind that big guy, you can't even see him.
Wisniewski was out the center, but Austin Howard, the long-time right tackle with the Jets, playing right guard. Handoff, Maurice Jones-Drew finds the crack, bangs down to the 5-yard line. I lost the little guy there in the pile.
That's what happens with him too. He gets in there among those big guys, and all of a sudden he squirts right through for much more yards.
They got a little something going here now. They get a little pick up the tempo now, and they are picking up the tempo with that success.
69.
Philippe Barnes back in, eligible, playing that tight end role. Darren McFadden now comes in. Greg Olson changing his personnel groups. Maurice Jones-Drew, Greg Olson knew well in Jacksonville. Pocket Hercules, only 5'7". Second down, Raiders and 2. Yards needed from the Lion 5. Here's Darren off the left side, breaks a tackle and bangs down to the goal line. First and goal, Raiders on the Lion 1. Michael Rivera with a good block there on the middle linebacker, Stephen Tullock. Rivera, Tom, in line, and not a great blocker to be frank, but when they move him like that, bring him off the ball and some movement stuff, he can be a very effective blocker.
Well, you can't see him coming from the other side of the formation. He's able to kick out and lead the back through the hole.
Yeah, that was also nice by Gabe Jackson, a left guard, and Wisniewski in creating some gap.
First and goal, Raiders on the Lion 2. Offset eye, left. They give it to McFadden, and he takes it down to the goal line. Is he in or not? No, apparently not. Donald Penn begs to differ. He thought he got in. They're going to put him right up against the goal line inside the 1-yard line.
I thought he might have scooted in, but I guess not. I mean,
it was just all man blocking up and down the line of scrimmage, trying to push.
The ball's on top of him. That may be worth a challenge down. Maybe just a little bit short. He put the elbow down right up against the goal line. Second and goal from well inside the 1. Raiders trying to cut into this 13-0 lead. McFadden, the tail of the eye. Rivera goes in motion right wing. They give it to Darren off the right side. This time he's in. Touchdown, Raiders! Darren McFadden just found a crack on the goal line. A little softness in the defense to get in there.
Yeah, right up the scoop.
Well, usually there's not too big a hole down there. You got to fight your way in between some big bodies to get in the end zone.
Well, he's powerful enough. He's a powerful guy. He can move the pile. Yeah.
And now Janikowski, who made a 55-yard field goal off the dirt earlier, and Dennis Allen took the points off the board with a 12-minute of the field. We'll try a 33-yard extra point, and this one is good. Just inside the left upright, and the Raiders are now within 6. Darren McFadden finishes off a 60-yard march. A little bit of a start and stop on the drive, but in the end, Run DMC into the end zone. 13-7 Lions on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Well, Dennis Allen not content with 3, took the points off the board, and Darren McFadden gives him 7 with a touchdown. Taking a look at the drive summary brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Certified pre-owned vehicles come in now during the certified pre-owned sales event through September the 2nd. 11 plays, 60 yards, 5:22 off the clock, and the big play, Plunk, the 1st and 20 screen pass to Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yeah, it was a heck of a play. Picked up 22 yards on the play, and it was well executed. That's what I like about it. Not luck. Had nothing to do with it. It was well executed, well planned out. Good blocking down the field. Maurice Jones-Drew did the rest.
Oh, Janikowski. Look, is it landed yet? It's orbiting the earth. His kickoff went all the way through the north end zone, Tom. I'm telling you, on a fair catch, he can make an 80-yard field goal, I'm telling you. 13-7 Lions, 8:09 to go in the half. You okay, Coach? On the Raiders Broadcasting Denver. McFadden, they give it to Darren, a break free and take it down to the goal line. He should be in, he's in.
Second and goal, McFadden faking into the end zone. And the Raiders build on their lead. McFadden with a second touchdown of the afternoon.
Yeah, he faked out his teammate now, Lamar Woodley, on the second touchdown, and he ran right over Troy Polamalu on the first one. That's our Raider Flashback, brought to you by Infinity Luxury Cars that deliver inspired performance. Darren McFadden with 2 touchdowns against the Steelers. That was the game that first play of the game, Terrell Pryor went 93 yards for a touchdown. We'll see Pryor in the Seattle Seahawks coming up in a couple of weeks. Dan Orlovsky now in a quarterback for the Detroit Lions. Stafford's done. 13-7 Lions. Straight drop by Orlovsky. Throws. Broken up by Carlos Rogers. Reaching around the intended receiver there, Corey Fuller. And that'll bring up a second down. Orlovsky began his career with the Lions. First 4 years there, that was then they were horrible at the 0-16 year. A couple of years in Houston where he backed up Matt Schaub. A year in Indy, a year that Peyton Manning was hurt. He made 5 starts the last couple of years. Hardly played at all as a backup in Tampa Bay. And he's battling with Kellen Moore to be the number 2 behind Matt Stafford this year. 2nd and 10 Lions. Orlovsky, straight handoff to Michael LaShore. And he pecks forward for about 5. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Raiders have left their number 1 defense in the game. Tom, the Lions have pulled out Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, the only change is that Miles Burrows now is playing middle linebacker, and that's where he played a lot last week.
Yeah, Nick Roach was not going to play as much as the other guys, but the Raiders, and now they're going to their NASCAR front. Justin Tuck goes inside to play over a guard at tackle with Antonio Smith, and the 2 outside rushers are Khalil Mack and Lamar Woodley. Here comes the NASCAR. 3rd down and 5. Empty set. Orlovsky hit as he throws. Broken up. And Nick Roach came in on the nickel and middle linebacker.
That was a pretty impressive pass rush by the Raiders that time. Everybody putting pressure on that offensive line.
Yeah, they were kind of looked like they were looking for some kind of a game, but they just the power rush. It was a great power rush inside. I'm not sure who was that.
Antonio Smith.
Oh, Smith. Yeah.
But between those guys rushing, Tuck and Smith and Woodley, they've all got a lot of sacks in their career.
Yep.
That's what the Raiders will do on 3rd down. Go to the NASCAR. Here's the punt by Sam Martin. Denarius Moore has room to go. 30. Tries to get wide. Cuts back inside, and now he's going the wrong way. Not down, though. Spun out of the tackle. A block down the sideline, 40. It was not textbook, but very effective by Denarius Moore.
Yeah, great balance on that one.
Raiders, after a poor first quarter, are taking the game over in the second quarter. 15-yard return by Demo. 13-7 Lions. 7:02 to go in the half on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back to the Raiders Broadcasting Network. The Raiders trail by a score of 13-7. I talked to special teams coach Bobby April before the game. He expected inspired play from these units. Everyone. Janikowski's already gotten some great work in. We know how good King is on the earlier punt. But Greg, they inspired this team to get back into the game. Dennis Allen ran out onto the field and started patting these guys on the back. They're back in the game.
Here's Derek Carr in a quarterback, JT. Hand off, Darren McFadden, big hole midfield, runs to the 50-yard line. Power run there by Darren McFadden. As Derek Carr, who grew up in Fresno State, Plunk, a huge Raider fan, walking in with him on the field tonight in a good game against the Lions, 10 for 16 last week. This is the first time he's ever been in this stadium.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, not being so far away down there in Fresno, but I'm sure he's excited as any rookie would be.
He's got 15 on the ticket list tonight, so he's excited. 2nd and 2. Michael Rivera goes in motion, stays right. McFadden the lone back. They send 2 linebackers again. Carr, he overshot Leonard. He had him on the 25, Tom, and just overthrew him. The Lions again send that crossing inside linebackers on Abdul blitz, and the Raiders picked it up.
Yeah, he was open, and the Carr spotted him. He went the right way. He saw it right away. He just got a little too far out of reach.
Yep.
Yeah, even though the pass was incomplete, he made the right decision, got the ball off under a lot of pressure with the blitz coming, and almost made a completion.
Brian Leonhardt just ran away from Ashley Palmer, the linebacker. He does not have the foot speed to match up with tight ends. 3rd and 2. Raiders on their own 49. Denarius Moore wide right. Streeter and Jones left. Inside handoff to Darren. First down, Raiders in the Lion territory. Moore, he bangs down to the Detroit 46-yard line. Raiders have left their first team offensive line in the game. And Darren McFadden, Tom, getting some good openings here. The Raiders still have Donald Penn at left tackle, Khalif Barnes at left guard, Stephen Wisniewski at center. Austin Howard still playing at right guard, and Menelik Watson at right tackle. First and 10 Raiders on the Lion 46. Streeter comes in motion, stays left, Jones right. Play action, Carr going to roll right, being chased. Throws on the run, caught, flag down. Catch by James Jones though. Boy, nice mobility and a good dart there by Derek Carr.
Yeah, he can run. I mean, he's got great quick feet. He got outside the rush right away and then looked down the field.
There's the flag,
There's
Bill
no
Vinovich.
foul for illegal contact. The quarterback was out of the pocket. Result of the play, first down.
Raiders will take it. Clock a 16-yard throw from Carr to James Jones.
Yeah, good play action pass. It gets outside to the right. On the run, throws an accurate pass for the first down to James Jones. Well executed, well done by the quarterback.
Nice route there, running off Cassius Vaughn, the former Denver Bronco for a couple of years. In the last couple of years, the Indianapolis Colt, now a Lion, after signing as a free agent. First and 10 Raiders on the Lion at 30. Latavius Murray is in for the first time. Streeter in motion. It's an end-around flip to Streeter, big hole. First down 20. Knocked out of bounds on the Lions' 16-yard line. Caught him in the over pursuit and the end-around worked.
It certainly did, but Menelik Watson had a grab on somebody, but fortunately he let go just in time. Good reverse play. The defense going one way, came around the other way, and brought Streeter up the right side.
See that defensive end, number 92, Tom, slanting down. That's Devin Taylor, the young lineman, and that gave Streeter the edge. That's good play calling there by Greg Olson. Set that up.
Good call at the right time. They've been running those plays, the counter plays and off tackle plays. So it was a good time to run that.
First and 10, straight drop. Carr screen out to Latavius Murray, blocked from Howard. And a nice open field tackle there. And not a lot gained on the screen pass there. Well diagnosed. It was Andre Flellen that made the tackle, a backup defensive lineman who got in there to make the hit, the defensive tackle.
Second and 10 from the 17.
Second down and 10 coming up for the Raiders. All Lions in the first quarter, but it's been all Raiders in the second quarter. Lions have subbed out a lot, playing more of their second-team defense here against the Raiders' number one offensive line, to be fair. There's a handoff to Murray. Big hole, 10. Bangs down to the Lion 8-yard line. So he looks good.
Good blocking by the left side of that line. Howard, Khalif, Barnes doing a good job.
And again, Michael Rivera on the move, Tom, with a wham block on the outside end. You put Michael Rivera in motion, and he can block. He can get an angle on a guy.
Well, he's doing a nice job. You know, he can run. He's got good size with 242 pounds. So he can take on those defensive tackles.
Third and 2. Raiders go bunch right. Rivera the point of the bunch. Streeter and Moore behind. Jones singled up left. They're going to Jones for the end zone jump ball. He caught it, but he's out of bounds. Oh! Touchdown! I think Raiders. Hold on. I don't think he got that. Let's see. One official said touchdown. Is the second one going to overrule?
Yeah.
What do you think, boys? The ball got tipped a couple of times. If he did get both feet down, it was a miraculous catch. He got one.
He doesn't have the ball.
He doesn't have the ball, though.
No, did not get the ball.
The ruling on the field is incomplete.
Yeah.
Too bad.
And I was going touchdown Raiders, boys. I didn't feel it. You kind of knew it just wasn't going to happen.
You got halfway through.
Well, they're saying touchdown, but you could tell it was not.
No.
But they singled up Jones, Tom. They went 3 wide receivers right with a bunch, and they went one-on-one with James Jones against the corner, Chris Greenwood, and Greenwood played that well. Crowd thinks he caught it. He did not secure the ball to the ground, though. Is it worthy of a challenge?
No, because by the time he went to the ground,
Oakland is challenging the ruling.
They are going to
field.
challenge.
Not a touchdown.
Well, why not? It's the preseason.
Well, it looked like by the time he hit the ground, he was just finally getting control.
Yes.
By that time, he was out of bounds. We're going to watch it again ourselves in the replay. He's got 1 foot in, 2 feet in, but he doesn't have the ball completely in control.
Yeah, the ball slips
still
down to
slipping
his
out.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does not possess the ball until he's clearly out of bounds. He made it a lot closer than I thought. He was juggling. Boy, great footwork to get it close, but he did not possess the ball till he was on the ground.
he even changed hands because he had it in his right hand. He pulled it into his chest, and he had it in his right hand, and it went over to his left hand when he hit the ground.
One thing about James Jones, he is a touchdown scorer. Early in his career, he had a hard time catching the non-route as a Packer, dropped a lot of deep ones, but then once he got over that problem, Plunk, he was a go-to guy. He had 14 touchdown receptions in 2012, which led the entire NFL.
That's a lot of receptions, TD receptions for anybody, especially a wide receiver.
And they had some good receivers in Green Bay when he was there. Bill Vinovich coming out quickly. You assume he will say no catch here. It'll be 4th and 2, Raiders. Here's Bill Vinovich.
After reviewing the play, ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver did not have possession when he hit out of bounds. It'll be 4th down. Oakland is charged with a timeout.
Well, the loyal Raider Nation get a boo, but it's obvious he did not possess the ball until he was on the ground. All right, so we'll bring in Janikowski here. This will be all off the grass. You know, one thing I was talking to Dennis Allen before the game, and one thing that we've confirmed now, the extra point, even in the stadium when it's the dirt baseball, will always be on grass. I was thinking it was 23-yard line. Is that going to be on dirt? He said, I'm going to go out and check right after I leave our meeting, but that is not a worry. And for this field goal, a little bit shorter than that for Janikowski, 27-yard field goal. But we were wondering, Tom, each end, but the 23-yard line, both hash marks is going to be on grass.
Yeah, here, and that's important here in this field. You know, we played all our games here. A lot of them are going to, it looks like the A's are going to go well into the postseason. Plus, you can move them. You can move them from hash to hash. You don't have to put it right in the middle of the field.
You get to pick which hash, right? But the 23-yard line on both ends, both hashes is on grass. So you don't have to worry about the extra point being off the dirt. In any event, we hope the A's play deep into the playoffs. They have the best record in baseball, and they may play all the way to November this year. And you should get ready for the Raiders season, 2014 season of Raider football this year. You can purchase your tickets by calling 1-800-RAIDERS right now. Raider staff member standing by at their Alameda offices to take your phone call right now. Or if you want to do it online, there's Raiders.com. And the Raiders have a tremendously tough, but for the fans, an exciting schedule this year as they're going to play the AFC East and the NFC West. So the 49ers will be here. The Arizona Cardinals will be here. And the Raiders are going to play one of those home games in London. So be a part of it. A new era of Raider football. That Raider drive, 8 plays, 50 yards. Derek Carr led it, Plunk. He was 2 for 4 on the drive for 18 yards.
Yeah, he did a good job of directing an offense for the Raiders on that drive.
There's the kickoff by Janikowski. This is only a mere touchback, Tom. What's wrong with this guy?
That didn't even pique my interest.
Jeremy Ross actually caught it on the back of the end zone. The last one, he just kicked right into the north end zone. It was a real blast. Incredible. What a leg Janikowski has. Right now at Burger King, chicken fries are back. Come to Burger King now and get your chicken fries while they last. Limited time only, and they are going fast at participating restaurants. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett up in the booth. JT on the sideline on our radio and TV simulcast. Raiders down 13-0, but now have it down to 13-10. Orlovsky moving Fourier, the tight end, in motion right to left. Wham blocked by Fourier on Khalil Mack. But Mack pushed right back and kept force on that handoff, and it's a short gain there. Nicely done by the rookie.
Yeah, it's great to keep leverage on the outside. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. So if he can't get outside, he's got to cut back, and that's where your pursuit catches up to it.
A little simple thing like that with Mack. I mean, he got leverage on there. He had containment on the outside, and he kept containment on the outside, forcing the runner to go back inside.
And he should win that matchup. Joseph Fourier is not much of a blocking tight end, and Mack just pushed that inside. 16 forced fumbles, an NCAA record, also 75 what I call stuffs, tackle for losses. Just a wrecking crew at the University of Buffalo. He had a game against Ohio State last year that really got him drafted so high. Short pass over the middle, good coverage there by Carlos Rogers on the receiver, Patrick Edwards. Khalil Mack against Ohio State, a big Big Ten school. He just dominated with a couple of sacks in that game and a pick 6 for a score. We are going to have the 2-minute warning here. And the Raiders trying to get off the field on third down may have the lead by halftime. We'll see. 2 minutes to go in the half. Detroit Lions 13, the Raiders 10 from the O.co. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. 2 minutes to go in the opening half. Detroit Lions 3 for 5 so far on third down. Will face a 3rd and 5 from their own 25. Raiders leaving their number 1 defense in the game. Not going to the NASCAR here. T.J. Carey, 1 cornerback. Carlos Rogers is out of the game. But Terrell Braun plays on. 3rd and 5 for Dan Orlovsky. He has 3 receivers, 2 are right, 1 left. Lifts his leg twice. Holds him up there. Flag came down. That's a pre-snap penalty on the Lions. He kept him on the line a little bit too long that time.
Yeah, there's some movement on the line. You know that, I don't know if they call this on the center.
Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty.
It looks like the tackle move.
Yeah, the tackle, but the center, he's bopping his head way too much. And you're allowing him to do that.
Raiders triggered. Khalil Mack did, but did not come. And then they got it on 78. Look at the center also moved.
I thought it was a quarterback taking a lot of time pointing out to the lineman, this guy's coming, block left and all that stuff.
Just can't have holding their set so long, Plunk, as you well know. They're not going to hold it. 3rd and 10. Mack rushing from the left side down to the 3-point stance. They doubled him. Orlovsky down the sideline. Ross got free. T.J. Carey, I don't know if he thought, and Carlos Rogers came in for that play. I don't know if he thought he could help over the top, but T.J. Carey got beat over the top for a 22-yard gain on 3rd and 10.
Oh boy, that's just you can't let that happen. Can't let that happen.
I don't know if he thought Tyvon Branch was going to come over in time. That time they doubled Khalil Mack, Plunk.
Yeah, can see that.
And T.J. Carey got beat over the top, so it's 1st and 10 Lions. Out to their 43. Ross goes in motion. The former Cal Bear now in the left slot, watched by Carlos Rogers back into the nickel here late. There's a blitz by Seal Moore. Lions pick it up. Check down, catch made. And running with it is Broyles. Into Raider territory, finally pushed out by Roach and Jonathan Dowling. A huge catch and run there by Ryan Broyles. The NCAA all-time leader, actually, in career catches from Oklahoma. Should have been just a short gain as he slipped a couple of would-be tackles there by Carlos Rogers and Lamar Woodley.
Yeah, just a poor tackling right there. He should have been caught. It wasn't much of a route. Just poor tackling by two of the black shirts, and all of a sudden they're down in the red zone.
Broyles had 349 catches at Oklahoma, all-time NCAA best. He's had severe injury problems, 2 ACLs and a ruptured Achilles in his career. Here's the back, Theo Riddick, a big back out of Notre Dame, bangs it inside the 20. So we were hopeful of getting the ball back on the 3rd down, and now the Lions are inside the Raider red zone.
It happened that quickly. You got to make those stops. Just a 3-yard route, and it goes for a lot of yards.
Clock rolling here. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go in the half. The Lions and Jim Caldwell have all 3 timeouts left. Raiders have 2. Slot formation right. Orlovsky under center. Riddick the lone back. 2nd down. And there's a stop. Theo Riddick gets swallowed up in the backfield. And now the lineman jumps on Patrick Sims, but no flag came in there on Rodney Austin. He grabbed Sims after Sims came up with a stuff.
Yeah, Sims had great penetration on that. He just was up the field, deep in the backfield.
They tangled a little bit. Sims grabbed Austin's leg, and then Austin swung his leg in a kicking motion. 3rd down and 9. Orlovsky in the shotgun. Raiders playing press man, flag down, 2 flags down, a false start on the Lions. Another pre-snap penalty here on Detroit.
Hold that spot.
Hold that spot, says Vinovich. He wants to check with Dennis Allen, see if he'll take the penalty. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because they haven't run a play, so it's not loss of it down.
It's a pre-snap.
Yeah, I don't know what the conversation is here. He doesn't have it. There's no option on this play. Now he's going to go.
Now he's going over to Jim Caldwell. Caldwell called timeout, and that's what he's debating, whether to take the timeout here. What's the penalty, Bill?
False start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
It's on the center,
Detroit is
Travis
elected to use their
Swanson.
second
They
timeout.
finally got it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, first timeout.
That's what you were saying on the lifting of
To
the
avoid
heads out.
10-second run out.
Yeah,
30
he
second
just bopping his
timeout.
head way too much, and they finally got him on that.
You know, I was mentioning earlier Khalil Mack, his dominant game. Coming from the MAC conference, you wonder what kind of player he is. Watch number 46 against Ohio State. It's a pick 6 on a screenplay. He also had a couple of sacks. I think he was drafted as high as he was, boys, based on this tape. Not alone, but certainly this was big. Just unblockable against Ohio State. Buffalo lost the game decidedly, but the best player on the field that day was number 46.
It certainly looks like it from that film.
All right, 29 seconds to go in the half. 3rd and 14 Lions. Back on the Raider 27-yard line. Raider Nation in full throat now. Slot formation right. Broyles, the slot receiver. Orlovsky telling his lineman Nick Roach may blitz here. And here comes Roach. He is blitzing. Nobody got there, and he sacks him back on the 39-yard line. He pointed him out, but nobody blocked 53.
Yeah, he's pointing them out to the center and the inside the guards, and that's the way you're supposed to slide. The quarterback tells you which way to slide. He was pointing them out.
The tackle just ran right by number 74. The tackle made the sack, put him out of field goal range.
Boy.
But it looks like they're going to try a field goal.
So Pat Sims with a stuff plunk, and then the 11-yard
Second
sack
charge
by
timeout.
Roach.
Oakland.
Raiders call
30-second
timeout.
Yeah.
Please
Well,
reset
if-
the game clock to 13 seconds.
And the reason being, if they kick the field goal here and miss it, the Raiders get the ball from the spot of the missed time. They're not done trying to score in this half.
No, it's a good move. Call the timeout. Plus, this is a long field goal kicked from the dirt.
Into the wind, too.
Into the wind. This guy's got a strong leg. I watched him in pregame warm-up, but still.
51.
It's
No, 56.
56.
Yeah,
This is Nate Freeze. The longest he made at Boston College was 52. He's in a real battle with Giorgio Tavecchio, the Cal Bear. If he misses, the Raiders get it from the 46. He has the distance, and it is good. Wow, Nate Freeze, who certainly has a leg up on Tavecchio to be Jim Caldwell's place kicker. Made a couple last week and then went over Cleveland from 32 and 37. But this one from the dirt infield, something he'll never have to do the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's impressive.
He makes one from 56 time.
Yeah, very impressive. You know, I didn't think he could do it, but the adrenaline flows.
All right, so the Lions have a 16-10 halftime lead. You got to look at it by quarters, Plunk. The Lions, well, the Raiders were driving, and then the interception, and the ball that bobbled up in the air by James Jones. He had a ball with the pick, and when Stafford was in the game, it was all Lions. And since he has left the game, the Raiders have taken the game over in the second quarter.
Yeah, they played more aggressive. They've come after the defense on offense. They're doing a real good job putting the ball down the field a little bit, but calling good plays in certain situations. Kept the ball moving, got in the end zone twice, once on a touchdown, once on a field goal. Making things happen. Defensively, they're a lot more stouter against the Matthew Stafford less offensive unit of the Detroit Lions.
This will probably not be a standard kickoff. They may just squib this here, Coach, and not give the Raiders a return.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, 8 seconds to go. Don't want to give any life.
Well, they're going to kick it away and just let's see if Murray takes it out. Latavius coming out. About a yard deep, 10, 15, hit and drop shy of the 20-yard line. George Wynn, the backup running back, with a nice tackle. The second tackle of the game on special teams. Latavius Murray, up until this training camp, had not returned kickoffs since high school. And we're going to see Corey Sheets in the second half. And Corey Sheets has really impressed Dennis Allen. It's no lock that Murray's the third back behind MJD and DMC. And Sheets will also return kickoffs in the second half. That's a battle. Just a kneel down here, Plunk, or do you let it fly?
No, I think we're going to kneel down.
There's Corey Sheets, who impressed last week in Minnesota. Last couple of years in the CFL. So Derek Carr takes a knee, and that'll be the half. We heard Plunk's thoughts, Coach, on the Raiders in the first half. What'd you think?
Well, I thought after the initial, they were still a little flat. Then all of a sudden they had a couple plays there where they caught a little life, and then the tempo picked up, and on both sides of the ball. It's kind of like they're waiting for somebody else to make the play, and all of a sudden they made a couple of plays, and there they go.
Yeah, let's head downstairs. JT in conversation with Dennis Allen.
Thank you, Greg. Coach, momentum swing there in the second quarter. Maurice Jones-Drew and the McFadden touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens in games. You get a change of momentum, and our guys continue to fight. They hung in there. We got a little bit of momentum. We were able to score. Defensively, we played a little bit better. I was disappointed that we let them get 3 points there at the end. So we got a few things that we got to get corrected, but overall, I saw some good things.
Spirited play also from special teams.
Yeah, and that's been a point of emphasis to play, get more aggressive on special teams. I think they responded.
Thank you, Coach. Greg, back to you.
Yeah, Sebastian made a 55-yard field goal off the dirt baseball infield, and DA took the points off the board. The Raiders drove right back down and scored their only touchdown of the first half. 16-10 Lions at halftime from the Odaco Coliseum. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. At the end of 2 quarters of play, it's 16-10 Lions. All Detroit in the first quarter, 13-0, and the Raiders with a 10-0 run to the late field goal. And the Lions made it 10-3 in the second quarter. Welcome back on our radio and TV simulcast. Greg Papa with Jim Plunkett and the head coach Tom Flores. We'll take a look at our halftime highlights brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. It was Justin Tuck that kept the Raiders in the game in the opening half, and then Maurice Jones-Drew Plunk on this 1st and 20 screen pass gets 23, and the Raiders wind up with a touchdown from Darren McFadden.
Yeah, it was a well-executed drive that time by Schaub and the rest of the offensive unit.
End around to Rod Streeter, gained 13 yards, Tom, and Latavius Murray, a nice inside run. Seabass with a field goal, and the Raiders had it down to 13-10.
Yeah, and plus, not only that, they picked up a lot of momentum. They started playing with a little more enthusiasm, a little more spirit, and consequently it was more aggressive.
Raiders actually out first down the Lions 12-7. They outgained them 162-160. And the Lions had 7 penalties, 40 yards. The Raiders, after a 13 penalty show for 94 yards last week in Minnesota, Tom, maybe the highlight of the half, one Raider penalty.
I thought the highlight was when Janikowski almost kicked it out of the stadium.
The kickoff? Yeah. How about the 55-yard field goal? One thing we harped on, and Seabass will kick off to start the second half, Tom, and you were a holder, is that Marquette King had a hard time adjusting. Shane Leckler was like Seabass's half-brother. And there was a trust factor. I think they're over that this year, and it should be a much better year for King holding for Sebastian.
Well, you got to give Sebastian a lot of credit because he made the effort to come out here early and get with it, because the holder is very, very important, and you have to have confidence in the holder. He had one holder for what?
His whole career.
Yeah, his whole career. I don't know, whatever years that is, and all of a sudden it's like getting a divorce. Well, maybe not exactly that
There was
dramatic.
13 years they were together. Leckler and Janikowski drafted together. Now he's going towards the black hole end zone, so it won't be quite as deep. Stephen Miller will bring it out of the end zone for the Lions. Far right 10, now coming left and chased down by George Atkinson, the third. And he's got his daddy's speed, Plunk. What a play by George III.
He came from the far side of the field and chased him down and caught him before he could turn up the field and make some yardage. Great play by George Atkinson III.
George Atkinson III and his other brother in high school here over on the east side of the Bay were always in the state finals.
They were sprinters. George III runs a 4.48 at the combine out of Notre Dame. We'll see him later in the game as a ball carrier, possibly. We'll get a good long look at Corey Sheets, though, in the second half. 1st and 10 Detroit, starting on their 17-yard line. Quarterback Dan Orlovsky. He is blitzed by Burris, throws, and a catch is made on the coverage of Chance Casey. That is Ross out of Cal, the kick returner, up to around the 36-yard line.
Yeah, good pass protection that time, and gave him plenty of time. No rush until the very end, and it was just man-to-man coverage on there, simple square in route.
Ross, a good player, second-year receiver out of Cal. Brief time in Green Bay, but last year really took over on this team as a kickoff and punt returner. Orlovsky with the handoff straight ahead in the Raider front. And we will see the second-team defense. Kaluka Mayava is now in playing at middle linebacker, in on the tackle of George Wynn. Maeva, haven't seen a lot of him. He's missed most of camp with a hamstring injury. Did come back for the Oxnard practices, and right now he's the backup middle linebacker behind Nick Roach. Miles Burris will play in this set as the weak side linebacker for Jason Tarver. Maeva, a really smart player, like Nick Roach in so many ways, can run this defense for Tarver. Second down, hand off to Wynn, wrapped up by Kaluka Maeva and Miles Burris, the two inside backers.
Yeah, and Wynn had a very good game for them last week against Cleveland. They want to see more of him, see what he can do back there as a full-time running back.
Yeah, 6 carries, 39 yards last week. Had a costly fourth quarter fumble, but actually the Raiders had George Wynn on the practice squad last year. Is Miles Burris, does he have the green dot helmet right now? I think he does over Kaluka, because he's in on every play in the defense here. Does not come off the field, so Miles has the green dot. The communication from Tarver will play middle backer here on third down. 3rd and 6 for Orlovsky. Straight drop, throw over the middle, catch, first down. TJ Carey trying to push the receiver back. See if they give him forward progress in the first down catch or not. Nicely done by Carey to push Broyles back, but they do give him forward progress in the line first down.
Yeah, the Raiders coming after him with blitzes, and that puts you in man-to-man coverage, so you better cover tightly.
It's a big second halftime for TJ Carey, as Chimney Chekwa has a bit of a knee injury. He's not playing tonight. So when you look at your 3 corners, Rogers and Brown are going to be your top 2, and right now TJ Carey's your 3rd in the nickel. And if Chimney can't go. Ross goes in motion. Here's an end around to Ross. This is the young corner McGill who misses the tackle, but he played it well. That's Keith McGill, later round 4 pick. Well, he stayed home there, Plunk, just lost the tackle, but he certainly slowed him down.
Yeah, he did. He played his position very well, kept contained, let him outside at the very end, but that slowed him down enough to let the inside rush get to the runner, trying to make an end around.
You know, unusually tall for a corner, 6'3".
Big guy.
But a guy can run.
Converted safety out of Utah, number 116th pick, 4th round overall. Had a groin injury in the conditioning drill. We haven't seen much of him until this week. Screen by Orlovsky. Seal Moore cannot chase down Riddick from the backside. First down 40. Cuts inside. TJ Carey lets him bounce outside. And on chance Casey has to make the tackle. He does not. Well, he does trip him up enough. Well, he's able to wiggle across the whole field, get wide on TJ Carey. That's a long catch and run there by Riddick. 37 yards.
A very impressive run, too. He made people miss. He cut back, made more people miss, and showed a lot of speed in doing all that.
Seal Moore didn't make one tackle. Dowling slipped. And then TJ Carey, Tom, makes the mistake. It allows him to get outside and reverse the field.
Yeah, they just dip and dip move, and they all went for the dip.
So a lot of dip. 1st and 10, Detroit on the Raiders 16. Orlovsky throws, catch. And it's going to be right to the goal line or a touchdown. 1st and goal on the 1 or a touchdown. And that was Corey Fuller who scored the game-winning touchdown last week in their late score on Cleveland. They're going to put him right down to the 1-yard line. Detroit right down the field on the Raiders' second-team defense here.
Yeah, didn't waste any time. Just got rid of the ball right away. Very quick hitting pass. Just a little hitch route against his own defense.
Kaluka Maeva able to save the touchdown. Larry Assant on the, he's looked good in camp, but he had a bad angle on that play. 1st and goal, 1-yard line. This is George Wynn off the right side with a walk-in touchdown. He stayed patient in the hole, Plunk, at all congested middle. Body's falling down. He just popped outside, untouched, goes into the end zone for the Lion touchdown.
Yeah, nobody can get off their blocks. It allowed him to slide until he can get outside and score the touchdown.
Jonathan Dowling, the safety, came in the middle. And he bopped outside there, and Hassan could not make the play, and it's a touchdown.
Well, they made it look pretty easy going down the field that drive.
Yeah,
everything seemed to work.
Well, this place was coming alive late in the first half. The Raiders had it down to 13-10, a 3rd down on defense. They're going to get off the field. They convert that on TJ Carey, and then a field goal, and now they go right down the field. So some of these young guys that are playing right now are going to have to play in the nickel, in particular TJ Carey. And that was not a very impressive defensive series for the Raiders. Let's see if they can bounce back. Lions take a 23-10 lead, back to 13 points early third quarter from Oakland on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Boy, Detroit Lions go right down the field to open the second half for a touchdown. Let's take a look at the drive summary brought to you by the NHTSA. Cops all across the country are cracking down on drunk driving. There's one thing you can be sure of. They'll see you before you see them. Drive sober or get pulled over. 8 plays, 83 yards, and 4:45. The big play, the 36-yard catch and run by the running back Theo Riddick. Corey Sheets is back to return this kickoff, and again, he will run the kickoffs back in the second half. Hopefully there aren't too many beyond this one, as he looks to battle with Latavius Murray to be the third running back. And that means being up on game day, Coach. That's a big spot. That third back could be up. He's coming out. He was 8 yards deep in the end zone. He thinks he's in Canada again. Flag comes down. He runs it across the 20 to the 23. A flag came in late. The big end zones in the CFL.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
He was way back there.
Yeah, well, he wants to show what he can do.
And he got it across the 20. What's the flag for? Here's Bill Vinovich.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 41. 10-yard penalty. Oakland keeps the ball. First down.
Called on Jonathan Dowling, the 7th-round safety out of Western Kentucky. So the drive start will, in fact, be inside the 20. When we come back, 23-10 Lions, 10-9 to go third quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Back on the Raiders Broadcasting Network, Detroit 23, Oakland 10. If you're interested in bringing out a group to a Raiders game this year, this is a great opportunity to host a birthday, a company outing, and much more. Call the Raider ticket office right now at 510-864-5021 to learn more. Raiders staff members are in the office right now to take your calls. 510-864-5021. Greg?
All right, JT, Derek Carr in a quarterback. Here's a handoff to Latavius Murray, who continues here in the second half. Not Corey Sheets off the left side, and he gets a pretty good gain there. Derek Carr in the first half, just 2 of 4 for 16 yards, but he handled himself quite well. Missed that one deep seam to Leonhardt, Plunk, but otherwise he played well.
Yeah, it was very close to a completion, but yeah, he ran the team well. He looked very confident out there.
2nd and 5 for Derek Carr. Andre Holmes in at wide receiver. Started last week and now playing in the second half, first snap. There he runs it out. They throw it to the back, Jameis Alawale. I don't know if he thought he was going to set down somewhere else, Tom, but Carr missed Alawale badly there.
Yeah, he turned Alawale turned to the outside and he threw it to the inside. Usually the quarterback reads where the defender is and assumes you're going to go opposite of that. There's a little miscommunication on that one.
Third down coming up for the Raiders. Raiders were 3 for 7 on third downs in the first half. It's a 3rd and 5. Carr goes in the shotgun, something he's very familiar with and adept at from his Fresno State days. Bunch formation right. Looking right, throwing, catch. Bryce Butler, first down Raiders, just sat down there between a cluster. And the Lions are saying he dropped the ball, and he may have. He did not catch the ball all the way to the ground.
That's not good for Bryce because Bryce is fighting for a position on this team. That ball was thrown to the inside and thrown well and just came out on his way down.
Yeah, he had it most of the way, Plunk, and then was it knocked out by a Lion or just dropped out?
Well, the defender was probably grabbing at his arms, might have pulled him apart a little bit as he was going to the ground, and therefore he wound up dropping the ball.
I think that was Jerome Copeland, who has long arms, able to reach in there and knock it away. So Marquette King will punt for the Raiders from about the 5-yard line, fluttering end-over-end punt. And a couple of flags come down on the return there of Stephen Miller. Going to be an illegal block in the back, maybe 2 of them.
Yeah, blatant clip, yeah.
Stephen Miller on the punt return, penalty flags on the play.
Well, Bill Vinovich's crew getting a lot of play here tonight. 49-yard punt by Marquette
King. During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 85. 10-yard penalty. Detroit keeps the ball. First down.
That's the rookie, Eric Ebron, their number 1 pick, the tight end from North Carolina, block in the back. 9:14 to play third quarter from Oakland, 23-10 Lions on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. And welcome back to the O.co Coliseum, the home of the Raiders, and our radio and TV simulcast tonight. Greg Papa, Tom Flores, Jim Plunkett up in the broadcast booth, and it's good to be back home. JT on the Raiders sideline. Lions will go 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Lions, their season opener this year is going to be a night game against the New York Giants. They actually practiced this week under the lights to get ready for this game in part, and also their Monday night opener. There's Michael LaSure off the right side, tackled by Miles Burris. Rolls out to around the 31-yard line. Dan Orlovsky staying in at quarterback for the Lions. Michael LaSure lost some playing time a year ago to Joique Bell.
By the way, tonight's trivia challenge was brought to you by Geico.
Lions wound up 7-9 a year ago after a 6-3 start and let Jim Schwartz go in the offseason. He's now the defensive coordinator in Buffalo. Kalen Burnett had a good game last week in Minnesota, showing some edge pressure here on 2nd down. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, on the move, but it stayed left though. Orlovsky a play action. Throws out left for Ebron. Makes the catch. 1st down, Detroit. Looked like a corner route there, Plunk, by the big tight end Ebron. Boy, is he a big target.
It was either a deep out or a corner that he cut off, but it was a good throw by Orlov. He hung in there a long time, reading Orlovsky, reading the defense and knowing where he wants to go with the football, and he puts it right on the money, just about 2 yards shy of the out-of-bounds line. Very good throw.
And before T.J. Carey could come up, and Jonathan Dowling, well, Ebron, he was the top tight end in the draft, Tom, out of North Carolina. They already had Brandon Pettigrew and Joseph Fourier, so they've got some tight ends. Off the left side, nice run by LaSure into Raider territory, taking it off the left side of their offensive line now, Michael LaSure.
Game 6.
And all those tight ends, Greg and Jim, are young.
Yeah.
They're not old. They're young, so they're set for tight end.
And they're all pass catchers. They're not just they can block to a certain extent, but they can all catch the ball extremely well.
One thing the Raiders are doing, Khalil Mack still getting a lot of playing time here late into the game, into the second half. There's Orlovsky, play action, pressured by Dowling at a blitz, ball broken up by Chance Casey. Nicely done there by Casey. It was really impressive last August, Tom, and he just swatted that ball away, the young cornerback out of Baylor.
Yeah, he followed the route all the way across the field and was in excellent position, right on the hip when that ball was thrown, and reached out with the proper hand. The left hand knocked it down.
Well, beautifully done by Casey. Khalil Mack coming back in. What the Raiders are doing is using him in the second half now in their nickel package, trying to get him some edge pass rushing. He's going to rush from the Lions right, the Raider left, down to the three-point stance on 3rd down. 3rd and 4. There's a blitz by Burris. Throw out left high, and they'll get off the field as they activated Miles Burris, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, put pressure on Orlovsky. He had to throw the ball quickly, and obviously it was better to throw it out of bounds than take a chance of trying to complete it.
Yeah, the coverage was pretty tight that time. That would have been a tough completion if he had even got it close. And he was throwing for his life. He was going to get banged up.
And a smart move to blitz Burris. They know they're going to roll the protection towards Khalil Mack. T.J. Carey back to return this punt. He will call for a fair catch. Ball will bounce inside the 10. Nevin Lawson cannot down it. He could not stop. He slid to the goal line. That'll be a touchback.
Nope, that's not what they're saying. It doesn't look like.
He slid down to the goal line.
It looked like his
subject
feet were in
They're going to put that on the 1
zone.
yard line. That'll be a touchback, I think, when we come back. 6:58 to play. They're putting it on the 1 for now on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
I came to check out my team, the Raiders, and I've been a season ticket holder for many years, and since they were in LA and then they moved back to Oakland, I'm still a Raider man, Raider Nation guy all day, every day.
That's the legend, Magic Johnson, who was on the sideline in Oxnard. I talked to Raiders owner Mark Davis before the game, and he wanted to send thanks out to the Southern California members of the Raider Nation, who not only took over Oxnard, it was 3-1 Raider fans over Cowboy fans, but he was very energized. Greg, Tommy Lasorda was there, a whole bunch of celebrities. Everybody had a great trip to Oxnard, and I think it got everybody going coming into the game tonight. Back to you.
Now, the Raider players and coaches could not believe the scene. There was 8,326 there for a practice both days, and 3-1 were Raider fans. There's Magic Johnson, the 5-time NBA champion. Al Davis went and saw the Lakers play a lot of those championships, and when you were winning Super Bowls in L.A., there's a great camaraderie between the Raiders and the Lakers. There's a run by Corey Sheets out wide left, gets tackled around the head. They rip his headgear off, and no flag. Wow. I think that would be a personal foul on top of the run there. Little counter run there to wind it back to Corey Sheets.
He takes it away, all the way outside, but he was wrapped around the neck and just yanked the helmet off as he went to the ground.
Tom, how's that not a penalty on Aaron Hester?
Well, it's not a penalty. It's not a
A face mask.
face mask, and it's not a by the shoulder pads to pull him back.
Decapitation doesn't count. There's Derek Carr out to Sheets. Breaks one tackle, slips off another, and he gets buried. And he lost a lot of yards on that one. Tahir Whitehead, outside linebacker from Temple, made the hit. Corey Sheets has really impressed Dennis Allen. He was a Niner, he was a Dolphin. Tony Sperano had him in Miami. Had an injury there and didn't play a whole lot. An Achilles injury, went 2 years to the CFL. And Dennis just said, I like when the ball's in his hands, Plunk. He knows how to run the football.
Yeah, just like on that first play when he took it outside, although it should have gone in between the tackle and the guard. He just saw some daylight on the outside, picked up 8 yards, unfortunately lost a couple.
3 receivers go right, including Jake Murphy, Dale Murphy's son, the baseball 2-time MVP. Derek Carr, flag down, throws left, slipping down is Andre Holmes. Flag came down in the secondary. I think we may have offsetting, one on the Raiders, Tom, and one on the Lions.
Yeah, it's in the secondary where you see defensive holding or illegal contact, and then it's in the backfield where you see offensive holding too.
Let's see, here's Bill Vinovich.
There are 2 fouls on the play, one by each team. Illegal hands in the face, offense number 73. Holding, defense number 39. Penalties offset, replay 3rd down.
Holding on Matt McCants of the Raiders, and on the Lions it's on Aaron Hester. He got away with that headgear adjustment on Corey Sheets, so we'll play 3rd down again. Aaron Hester, young corner out of UCLA. 3rd and 5 for Derek Carr. Raiders put him in the shotgun. Slot right, Butler. Inside of Greg Little. Here's a screen. Latavius Murray, blocked from Tony Bergstrom. Murray can't quite get to the sticks for the first down. He'll be a couple short. Tony Bergstrom out in space made the block, but Murray just could not quite get enough.
I don't know if Coach Flores agrees with me, but if they need 5 yards, they're throwing a 4-yard pass. If they, they're right there, they need it.
They gave him the first down.
Well,
Did you guys see that up here?
No,
Murray,
not quite,
let's see.
but maybe his forward progress got him there, and then he got driven back. But they're not putting the ball down the field at all, even like
74.
normal.
74 is reports eligible.
He had to get to the 30-yard line. Did he get to the 30-yard line on that play?
It looks like it.
that's where they put the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell could challenge. He chooses not. So good work by, and now he is. I think this is cut. The officiating crew tonight. Wow. How did they not see the obvious touchback on the punt a moment ago to even put it on the 1? And when we came back, it was put on the 20 properly. This is just a bad spot here. So we'll see. It's pretty
is challenging the ruling on the field of the spot for a first down.
It's obvious, Tom. He has to get to the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
And he got hit around the 28.5, 29.
This will be interesting on the replay if
We'll
they
see.
overturn it.
Maybe they can't see it on the dirt baseball infield. 4.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Lions 23-10 over the Raiders and the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Well, Greg Olson is hoping he gets to call another play again, Coach Flores, but that's not going to be the case. Let's see.
No,
Vinovich
I don't
will
think.
probably say 4th and 2 or 1.5 yards.
After reviewing the play, ruling on the field stands.
Whoa.
Dear Lord.
Detroit is charged with the first timeout and are out of time.
How do you watch this replay and put the ball on the 30-yard line? Flunk, tell me, help me.
I don't know.
See on the 30? Well, you know, it's the angle of that camera, but wow.
It doesn't look like it.
Did he say confirmed?
Yes.
It means they saw this replay that he's at the 30. That's just not true. In any event, Olsen gets the play again, which is good. The Raiders stay on offense.
My goodness.
What do you think, Tom?
Wow. Now they're
Caldwell's saying,
maybe
are y'all blind?
Maybe they're going to double challenge it. I don't know.
Well, it's not even a hard call because the line to gain is right on the 30-yard line.
Yeah, he's laughing now. Coach Caldwell's laughing right now as you guys blew it. He's laughing. It is laughable,
you know
really.
what?
That was so.
He's saying on August 15th, I'll take it. In September and October, I want that. That's just bad. All right, 1st and 10 Raiders.
They're still talking down there.
What are they going to challenge the challenge? No, we're going to play. Well, we've had some slow moments with the officiating crew tonight. Bill Vinovich has been around for a while. He was on Dick Hantak and Ed Hockley's crew when he first broke in as a side judge, a ref in 04. Now we're back to action. 1st and 10 Raiders. And they got the challenge to go to Raiders. Like Carr got to get sacked. Ooh. Pocket just collapsed all around him, and he goes down. And Xavier Proctor, big lineman from North Carolina Central, got him.
He did hold the ball for a long time. It was very difficult for the lineman to keep him out that long. Couldn't find anybody open, I guess.
Yeah, obviously they're trying to get somebody. Holmes was running a deep route. I didn't see what the intermediate routes were. It might have just been a one-man deep route. If he's not there, you got to have somebody to dump it off to.
Holmes and Greg Little playing in tandem. They both had poor games last week in Minneapolis and have been downgraded a bit from the first week to this one. Screen to Corey Sheets out right. CFL runner is used to getting a lot of screens, and they roll over there. Ashley Palmer in on the tackle. Greg Little, when he was running, so impressive in camp. When the game started, Tom, the drop started to become a problem. And one thing he's doing is getting his hands up late. The ball he dropped last week in Minnesota, he partly dropped because he didn't have his hands up fast enough.
Yeah, that's right. You hit him in the face mask.
Sometimes you have to check your vision in these night games, and the ball's on top of you sooner than you think. Sometimes it's very difficult.
He's just too good a player to have the drop problems that he has. And also his hand placement is not, they're trying to work on that. Carr to throw out left. Wide open catch, Bryce Butler. Greg Little ran away from the block to get more downfield, and Aaron Hester made the tackle. Matt McCants, the big lineman, is down and appears to be hurt. Rod Martin and the Raider medical staff that are run out to his aid. Big chunk, though, Plunk. Carr to Butler, a gain of 30 yards.
Yeah, well done. Good play. Offensive line gave Derek Carr enough time to find an open receiver down the football field this time, and it resulted in a big play. And, you know, I think they need more of them personally to move the ball along down the field, score some points, make things happen, and somebody come up with big plays along the way.
Matt McCann's getting the attention from Dr. Warren King, head trainer Rod Martin, and Scott Touche as well. What happened to him? He got hit in the eye or something? Or?
I don't know. He went down and
walked off.
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't really holding any one part of his body, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's an arm, possibly. No. Now we'll see. Big chunk there. So 1st and 10 Raiders on the line, 41-yard line. Corey Sheets, the lone back. Jake Murphy, Dale's son, goes in motion, stays right. Carr straight drop. Off the back foot, gonna throw. Wide open, Greg Little! He caught this one. Did he stay in bounds?
Yep.
All the way down. 1st and goal Raiders on the Lion 3-yard line.
Penalties on Detroit, though.
They hit Derek Carr after he released the ball. But Greg Little wide open.
Hands to the face. Defense number 60. Penalties decline. Result of the play. 1st down.
No drop in this one. Greg Little was so open. The hard part, Tom, was keeping the feet in bounds as he worked the boundary.
Yeah, and Carr didn't have anywhere to step up. So that was all arm. He was about to get hit when he threw the ball.
And what I like about it, he put enough air under it. He was so wide open, so he could have time to adjust and get to the football. Good play by Derek Carr that time.
Snapped the ball before the Lions challenge that he caught that ball all the way to the ground. Derek Carr out of an eye. It's a bootleg rollout right, a throw for the end zone. Caught this time. Jake Murphy, touchdown, Raiders. Beautifully done by Derek Carr. The big ball to Little. And now a nice action plunk off the play action. The half roll right and the touchdown to Murphy.
Yeah, they stole it hard to the left. Good play action to the left. He comes out on the right on a naked boot and drops it off to the tight end in the flat. Easy touchdown that time.
And a very excited Derek Carr, because it's his first touchdown in the pros.
That's right. And for Jake Murphy, he dropped one last week in Minneapolis down on the goal line. Now Derek Carr, so excited. The Raiders take advantage of that curious spot on third down, have some big plays, and they're now within 6 as the extra point is driven through by Sebastian Janikowski, who's going to have all the placements his tonight. By Derek Carr, really animated. And a nice moment for Jake Murphy. Out of the University of Utah, 3 years in Utah. Great hands, Plunk, and that ball was right into the body beautifully.
That was, it was well executed. Roll out to the right, perfectly laid in there, easy catch, easy touchdown.
Boy, Derek Carr on that drive, Coach, was really strong. 5 for 5 for 54 yards.
Yeah, that was a good drive for Carr, and a big play for Murphy because with the injury to Casa, that tight end spot could be
without question.
Could be a spot for him now.
That's an 8-play, 80-yard drive, and Carr was 5 for 5 on the drive, and Carr now for the game is 8 for 12 for 92 yards. Greg Little got wide open. Getting open is not the problem for him. You can't press this big guy. He's so big and strong. It's just catching the ball, and that was not an easy catch. As wide open as he got, he had to work that sideline.
I thought he had a little bit of room on the sideline from where he caught the ball as he was drifting to the outside, but catching the ball was the primary thing. He was able to do that very well.
Here's the kickoff for Sebastian Janikowski. Stephen Miller back to return the kick for the Detroit Lions. Ebas does not get the depth going towards the black hole. Ball just does not travel the same. This one's returned by Miller. Almost all the way to the 20-yard line, up to around the 19-yard line. Raiders able to get down there and swarm it on special teams. Spencer Hadley on the tackle, just signed a week or so ago before the game in Minnesota. Derek Carr with a nice drive the whole way down the field. Bryce Butler, the big one to Greg Little, and the touchdown to Murphy. Lions bring in Kellen Moore at quarterback now. He shattered all the records at Boise State. Left-hander drops, hit. Khalil Mack trying to strip sack him. And Moore strong enough to keep the ball, but Khalil Mack gets the sack.
He does. Good pressure by Mack. Comes inside, gets to Moore, brings him down, almost rips the ball loose.
Out of a 2-point stance, Tom. Went right through the tackle. Cornelius Lucas. It's 16 forced fumbles at the University of Buffalo. He's not trying to sack you. He wants to sack the football.
Well, that's a good way to go. You got the guy, might as well get the football while you're at it.
Here he comes again from a 2-point stance. Second down of 11 with Kellen Moore. Seal Moore jumping around. Timeout by Moore. I think he thought they were all coming. And a jailbreak. Raider Nation enjoying it.
30-second timeout.
Raiders coming to life here in the third quarter, led by Derek Carr. Now Khalil Mack. So the first-round pick and the second-round pick playing terrific here in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job. They're energizing both the offense by Carr and the defense by Khalil Mack, putting pressure on that quarterback.
Kellen Moore at Boise State, Plum, just incredible numbers. The second highest total of NCAA football bowl subdivision, throwing for 142 touchdowns. The passing yards were 5th most. Does not have a strong NFL state-of-the-art arm, but he is a smart player.
Well, he led Boise State to a 14-0 record his senior year and a win in the Rose Bowl over TCU. Undefeated. It was a great year for him.
He was a Heisman Trophy finalist, went to New York, one of the 4 in that year you're talking about, 2010. Moore under center. They're going to run a draw against this ferocious Raider front. They're all over him. Lions can't go anywhere now. Raiders' second team defense, with the exception of Khalil Mack, coach. He is still playing deep into the third quarter now.
Well, he's energized now too, and especially now, not going against the first teamers. So he's taking advantage. That time I think it was a tight end that started blocking.
Well, he's devouring the second team offensive line now. Third down and 11. They better double him. Kellen Moore goes in the shotgun. Slot formation left. Miles Burris jumps up, shows blitz. Does not come. 4-man pressure. Ryan Robinson pressures Moore. Throw. Dowling broke it up. Jonathan Dowling came flying down and blows up Ryan Broyles, the wide receiver, and dislodges the ball. Big hit.
Boy, that was an interception ball. It was thrown. It was held up there a little bit, and it could have been an interception ball.
Yeah, he drove on it like he wanted to pick it, ran right through the receiver though and took the ball.
Yeah.
2 rookies working together there. T.J. Carey on the coverage and Jonathan Dowling, the safety, knocked it away. There's the punt now. It is a short one. T.J. Carey will bounce it. It'll bounce twice off the dirt infield. 30. It's a block from Murphy. 40 midfield. He may go. One block from Sheets down the sideline, and is pushed down in part by the punter Drew Butler. T.J. Carey. He was even a better punt returner at Ohio University than he was corner. Big return there.
Yeah, 7th round choice, and he just showed something there as far as staying in bounds, fielding the ball wisely.
Couple of bounces, has to get near to the dirt. Picks it up and takes it back 48 yards. Nice block by Chance Casey. And the punter, Butler, able to hit him. Drew Butler, by the way, is the son of Kevin Butler, the longtime punter for the Chicago Bears. Late third quarter. Carr and the Raiders on the Lion 23. Play action. Alawale picks up the pressure. A flag is down. Carr off his back foot, throws it up for grabs, and it's incomplete. What's the flag for there? Remains Alawale with a nice block there on the linebacker Ashley Palmer. And this game's heating up here in the third quarter. Here's Bill Vinovich, our referee.
Illegal formation. Offense number 15. Was not lined up on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Greg Little just off the line. Todd had to be up on the line in that formation.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Carr was trying to do with that ball. If you're going to throw the ball away, don't throw it across the field. Throw it out of bounds. He was on that sideline, unless he thought there was somebody in a catchable location.
I think he was just throwing it away personally. But I saw the route. They were going to go on and up as they brought the outside receiver inside, and they were one-on-one on the outside, but the rush got to him, and he didn't know what to do with the ball. But you're right. You can't throw it up in the air like that in the field of play.
Yeah. Play call came in late. Carr could not hear. They get it in late. He gets the play off. Play action, half roll to his right. Looking downfield, throws through the hands, a drop. A flag is down. Andre Holmes dropped that ball. There is a flag in the Lions secondary, but the Raider receivers, in particular Holmes and Little, are just having a problem dropping the ball.
Not good. Not good for the receivers.
Bill Vinovich with another violation.
Pass interference. Offense number 18.
Tom Holmes.
10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Yeah, Dennis Allen is very concerned about the precision in the passing game, Tom. And it's mainly the drops, and it's Andre Holmes and it's Greg Little.
Yeah, I couldn't see where the push-off was, but
I didn't see much of anything either.
Just on the stand before he came back.
But I certainly saw the drop.
Yeah, he just got to catch that. It was not a tough one. He came back, and he's a big, tall target, and just dropped the ball. First and 25, Raiders back on the Lion 38. Derek Carr inside handoff to Corey Sheets. Inside the 35 and dropped on the Lion 33, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter. Derek Carr, some big moments in that quarter. Deep one to Greg Little. And a touchdown pass to Jake Murphy, his first in the NFL, even though it's a preseason game. Big quarter for Derek Carr.
That is the end of the third
And the
quarter.
Raiders will start the fourth quarter. He gets Bryce Butler, the big one to Little, and the touchdown to Murphy. Raiders down 23-17 after 3 quarters on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. What does it mean when Geico says just 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance? It means you probably should have gone to geico.com 15 minutes ago. Here's the game by 15-minute intervals. We also call them quarters. All Lions. When Matthew Stafford was in the game, it was all Lions. They outscored the Raiders 13-0. And the Raiders were the better team in the second quarter. 10-3 outscored the Lions. And the Lions had the first quick touchdown to begin the third quarter. Then Derek Carr brought the Raiders back on that long touchdown drive. And here they go now to start the fourth quarter. Greg Papa, Jim Plunkett, Coach Tom Flores upstairs, JT downstairs. Raiders down 6. Remember, the Lions missed the first extra point off the upright. The Raiders could win this game. Carr back, looking middle, throwing, catch. Inside the Lions 20, ducking down is Bryce Butler.
And I thought he really did a real fine job on concentration in between 2 defenders. He grabbed the ball out of the air and just went down so he wouldn't get the ball knocked out of his hands. Good play by Bryce Butler.
Yes, very good. And he reached up with his hands, leaned into the ball. Very good.
17 yards on that pass.
17-yard gain, giving the Raiders a manageable third down now, 3rd and 4. Butler goes in motion right outside Andre Holmes. Greg Little is singled up left. Derek Carr in the shotgun. Corey Sheets to his right. Little one-on-one left. Safety help on that hash, though. Third down. Carr looking, throwing for Little. Jump ball! He caught it out of bounds. He may have also pushed off a little bit. When Little jumped up, he pushed off on the corner, Aaron Hester, but the ball was secured out of bounds. Fourth down, they'll bring in Janikowski.
Well, he got what he wanted. He got to be the man-on-man on the outside. It was just not a very good route. You got to run the route. You don't. He was kind of running sideways because he got jammed at the line of scrimmage.
Janikowski will try the field goal here. It'll be all from the grass in between the hashes on the 35-yard line. Jano made a 55-yarder off the dirt that the Raiders wound up not taking because the Lions had too many men on the field. So John Kondo will snap, the 2-time Pro Bowl deep snapper. Marquette King. One thing, let's keep an eye on the hold here, Tom. He talked about how last year, I don't know how he did it, he held with 3 fingers on the ball. I don't know how you do that.
I have no idea.
he's back to just the index finger and 1 finger on the point of the ball. He looks loose. He's smiling before the snap.
Oh, he's a very happy guy. He's always smiling. I've never seen him when he's not smiling.
And he always has a good day. Let's see. Kondo will snap. And King will hold. Not a great snap. And look at the improvement of Marquette King. That was not a great snap by Kondo.
No, he got it, put it down firm, and everything was right on time. And Sebastian Janikowski kicked it right through.
Really well done by Marquette King, and Jano drills the field goal through from 35. That snap was inside, and Marquette got it down. 1 finger. 23-20 Lions on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Talent, and what I like about him is he's eager to learn. You know, his locker is right by mine in Alameda, and he stays with his book in his hand, and just, you know, he's a kid that understands that he could have a great future in this league if he gets it down packed, and I think he's adamant about doing so.
Boy, Khalil Mack surrounded by great veterans, and that's one thing. Michael Strahan mentored Justin Tuck in New York, and now Khalil Mack so lucky to have a guy like Justin Tuck mentoring him here with the Raiders.
Yeah, he certainly is. It really means a lot to these young kids coming into the league.
There's the kickoff by Janikowski. And a return by the kick returner. And a wide receiver also on the return. That is Patrick Edwards. And the 17-yard return for the Lions. Janikowski will handle all the kickoffs and all the placements tonight. And a couple of field goals, including, or not including the 55-yarder. So Edwards with the return to the 17. Raiders, they slightly outgained the Vikings last week in losing, and they're doing it again tonight. 269 total yards to the Lions, 264. 1st and 10 Lions. And they're 17. They're up 3. Ashore gets buried in the backfield. Raiders swarming all over at that time. Got some really good penetration. There he is, Sant. Asante, who was just signed, just came unblocked. So he's showing up. He arrived late in training camp, Plunk, but he's made some plays.
Jason Tarver likes to activate different people. Gave him Larry Asante a chance to get in the backfield and make the tackle for a loss.
Played with the Cleveland Browns, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last year was a Colt for 5 games. He's a hard hitter. Kellen Moore, the left-hander, throws over the middle, and it's caught. A first down out across the 30-35, and that's going to be a flag on Larry Asante as he tackled around the headgear on the tight end Jordan Thompson. And that time a little too aggressive. Thompson a 15-yard gain, plus they'll add 15 on the personal foul.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 48. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Well, he's a battler, Tom, and that time he got a little too tenacious on the tackle, but he is tough.
Yeah, you don't want to keep him, you don't want him to move the chains because of penalties. At that time, that was a big-time penalty, too.
There's a mistake by Jonathan Dowling, and that was his rap coming out of school, Plunk. He was more of a hitter than a rapping tackler. He just tried to make a check there and couldn't get Thompson down. Now the Lions are in Raider territory. George Wynn, the big back. Raiders all over at that time. As Larry Asante again showing up in a run game. Got Crawford also there around the big back Wynn.
Yeah, but you talk about bringing people down. You got to wrap them up. In this league, people will bounce off you and keep going. Got to get your hands around them and drag them down.
Jonathan Dowling, a 7th-round pick out of Western Kentucky. He's got good ball skills. We saw him driving on that deep ball. Keith McGill also in playing at cornerback at right corner for the Raiders. 2nd and 7 Lions on the Raider 44. Thompson, the tight end, goes in motion. Now is a left tight end. Play action. Moore left-handed, rolls left. Pressured by Robinson. Comeback route caught by Peacock. Anthony Peacock beats McGill on the outcut. Or pardon me, Andrew Peacock. And it's a 14-yard gain. Got to remember the quarterback is left-handed. When he rolls that fake handoff right, Tom, and comes left, that's his strong side.
He did a nice job in hiding the ball, too. He hit it with his back turned to the field and then turned around at the last minute.
12 minutes to play in the game. Lions, who have led the whole way, up 23-20. Kellen Moore as Peacock go in motion. There's a handoff to Wynn, a stretch run right, and a cutback. Terrell Troop makes the tackle for the Raiders, but Wynn is inside the Raider 30, dropped on the Raider 29-yard line. Terrell Troop played well last week in Minneapolis, a couple of tackles. Former Buffalo Bill. 2nd down and 7. He will come off the field now, as will Stacy McGee. Peacock at a flex out. There's Kellen Moore dropping, a left-hander looking right. Now going to throw out. It is caught by the tight end. Chance Casey and Miles Burris combined with the tackle of Jordan Thompson. Very close to the sticks.
And Kellen Moore's doing a good job. He's sliding left, right, getting out of trouble even though there's a little bit of pressure. Giving himself a little bit more time to find the open receiver. Does a good job right there.
And he's not blessed, Coach, with the great arm, but boy, he knows how to play. He's just a smart player.
He's very smart. He was a great college quarterback in a great system there at Boise State, and not real tall either, but seems to get the job done.
They're going to measure here and see if he got the first down of the pass to the tight end, Jordan Thompson. Well, it's close, but they're going to be just short. It'll be 3rd down coming up in inches for the Detroit Lions on the Raider 23-yard line for Jim Caldwell. Lions did not play Calvin Johnson tonight. The word is they will probably play him next week in their home game against Jacksonville. 3rd down and inches for the Lions, under 11 minutes to play now. Preseason game number 2. The Raiders will be in Green Bay next Friday night to play Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Well, that'll be a real good test. The 3rd preseason game, Tom, most like a dress rehearsal. The starters will play in the second half against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, you see most of the starting lineups in that game for both teams.
3rd and 1. Good to LaShore, stacked up, but drives through it. First down, Detroit inside the Raider 20. Michael LaShore bangs down to the Raiders 17-yard line. Well, he kept his legs churning, Plunk. He got hit and then just drove right through it.
And that's one of the things you've seen denied by the Raider defense. They have not been able to wrap up runners or receivers and just hold them for after the catch or when they hit them initially at the line of scrimmage. They've been able to make extra yardage down the field.
Well, LaShore is a big running back. There's 242 pounds. Tries it again off the left side. Ryan Robinson grabs him around the neck and throws him down. Well, in Joik Bell and LaShore, they have the power back to complement a great in-space ability of Reggie Bush. Ryan Robinson playing into the second half. Good edge rusher. Does he have enough at 255 to hold up in the run game? Reggie Bush last year over 1,000 yards for a second time in his career. Much better runner from scrimmage. Really, when he got to Miami, Tom, he got much better running the football.
Yeah. Running with a little bit more power to it inside.
In New Orleans, Sean Payton used him mainly as a pass catcher. Caught 88 his rookie year. George Wynn gets wide. Raiders pound him. He went airborne, and Kaluka Mayava, the middle linebacker, pounds him out of bounds. It'll be third down coming up for the Lions.
Yeah, no extra yards that time.
Nice job by Mayava because he kept his balance, kept his leverage, and now all he has to do is keep his health.
Yeah.
He's been hurt every year.
Even last year.
Yeah.
Couldn't stay healthy. But he's a smart player, good special teams player. He can play any of the three linebacker spots. Middle, strong side backer, or weak side linebacker. Third down and 6. Moore out of the shotgun. Blitz by Casey. Throws. Caught right at the sticks.
He got the first.
First down, Detroit Lions. There was Keith McGill on the coverage, and Kellen Moore able to get it in there to Patrick Edwards.
Yeah, they came on a blitz at that time, and it was just man-to-man on the outside. And fairly good coverage and a well-thrown ball and a nice catch working back to the ball.
Dennis Allen watching the replay and seeing what McGill did or did not do on that play. First and goal, Lions. Thompson, the tight end, goes in motion. Wynn, the lone back. Two receivers right. Handoff to Wynn. Hit and dropped. And he got stuffed that time. Shelby Harris, who had a tremendous game last week in Minnesota with a stripped sack. Round 7 pick out of Illinois State. He's going to come off the field now, but he played well last week.
That's a pretty good number.
75?
Yeah.
You think Hall of Famers wear 75?
Yeah, once in a while.
Great Howie Long. Second down and goal. There's a blitz by Burris. Hot throw to Edwards, and boy, he held onto the ball. Or did he not? No, broken up. Keith McGill and Jonathan Dowling, the two rookie secondary men, dislodged that ball from Edwards on the quick one by Kellen Moore. That's what the Raiders want to see from McGill, Plunk. A little more physicality, and Dowling got him, and McGill able to help strip that ball out of there.
They did a good job, man-on-man, safety help, knocked it right out of his arm.
Third down and goal for the Lions on the Raiders' 7-yard line. 7:44 to play. Lions trying to go into the infamous black hole end zone. Never easy. There's Kellen Moore. Throws, caught. No, broken up, incomplete. Big time hit there again by Kaluka Mayava with a tremendous defensive series. Now the Lions will bring in the field goal unit for a short field goal here to make it a 6-point game. They can still be beaten by a touchdown. This is Giorgio Tavecchio by way of Milan, Italy, and Cal. Remember him at California. They'll take the field goal and split the black hole uprights from 25 yards away. Now Tavecchio in a battle with Nate Freese to be the Lion place kicker. Kaluka Mayava and the Raiders' second team defense holds inside the red zone. Raiders can still win the game with a touchdown to the point after, down 6. 7.5 to play on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Well, it looks like Derek Carr will get a chance to win this football game with 7:34 to play. That plan was to give him 25 plays, and I don't know how many exactly he's played, but Matt McGloin has the baseball cap on still, so Carr will get a chance to win the game here.
Yeah, well, they want to see how he does in all kinds of conditions, and this is the perfect condition. The 7.5 minutes to go, need a touchdown.
And they pretty much know what McGloin can do. So
here's the kickoff to Corey Sheets by Giorgio Tavecchio, and Corey Sheets breaks a tackle, stays up, showing good balance, staying up with the right hand on the field, and he crosses the 20-yard line. So Derek Carr, it's time to try to win the football game. Raiders are down 6 with 7:27 to play in the fourth quarter on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
Back on the Raiders Broadcasting Network, the Raiders trail by a score of 26-20. It's time once again to remind you about the clear bag policy. This is Raiderette Brittany reminding you that only clear bags can be brought to Raider home games. The NFL will enforce this policy. They can't exceed the size of 12 by 6 by 12. Can't bring a backpack, seat cushion, camera bags, etc. So you can go online or go to the Raider Image or go to the NFL shop online. Greg?
Thank you, JT, and especially thanks to Brittany. Derek Carr going deep ball. Oh, he slightly overthrew Greg Little. He got beat again, Tom. He had separation. Little balking at the official, thought he was held. Didn't quite get there, and the ball was just slightly out of his reach.
Well, he got to a point where he was held.
Oh, wow.
He was held way back,
Blatantly.
about 20 yards back. I mean, that's why he was starting to show separation.
Jonte Green blatantly held him, Plunk. It wasn't even the jersey. He grabbed his arm.
yeah, the referee seemed to be missing a lot of calls tonight.
2nd down and 10. Raiders went deep ball to open. Janae Zalawale, second team fullback, still in there. There's a quick one. Flag went down. Might have been a legal formation for the Raiders. Bryce Butler on the catch. Well, the way they threw that flag, Tom, you think the Raiders misaligned.
Well, it was thrown immediately as soon as the ball was snapped.
No, it's against the Lions.
Yeah, offside.
Derek Carr standing against the Lions. Here's Bill Vinovich.
Offside.
Yeah.
Defense number 96. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Yeah, that's why it was thrown immediately, because the guy lined up offside.
Andre Fluellen.
74 reports is eligible.
Raiders bring in, and again with the injuries at tight end, they're going to use Jared Shaw as a extra tight end here, eligible, going to a jumbo package. 2nd and 5.
That's a big tight end.
Yes, it is. Well, Khalif Barnes is going to do that this year.
Yeah.
There's a counter handoff to Sheets. And he gets stacked up, pushing. There's a 2nd down. I think he's going to be just shy of the 1st down. That'll bring up a 3rd down and short for Derek Carr. Raiders are hoping to get David Osbury back after his procedure on a knee a few weeks ago. Shaw goes out now. But if they don't, you have Michael Rivera. And you see who else you keep. If it's Leonhardt, and maybe you use one of the linemen as a tight end. Raiders could possibly keep 6 running backs and then just maybe 2 tight ends and use Khalif as a swing. Quick hitter to the fullback. That's a first down Raiders. Derek Carr with a 360-degree spin. And the quick handoff to the fullback on the quick hitter. And Janae Zalawale picks up the Raider first down.
Yeah, good movement on the right side behind Tony Bergstrom. Just a good push by the right side. Tony Bergstrom and rookie free agent Danny Kistler.
Nice play by Carr. Remember, he was not under center his final 2 years at Fresno State. To be under center, that handoff involving a complete 360 turn was not easy.
Some of these guys can get off the ball quickly.
Look out from the blind side. He got hit from behind. His arm was coming forward, I believe. And they're going to say that a live ball? Incomplete pass is the call from behind. Derek Carr, is he okay? He got hit from behind. He's pointing towards his midsection. Larry Webster came tearing around his blind side. He's pointing to his ribs or his midsection. Is he all right? Matt McGloin going to throw his helmet on. Carr may have gotten hurt. Webster came right around and he got him up around the shoulder. It also looked like possibly Jack Cornell got beat. The tackle, Webster, and drove him into the ground.
He could have fell on his ribs. You know, I've been there. I know what it's like. But as he goes down right on his left side, right there.
Wow. Carr now walking over to Dr. King, and Derek Carr is going to walk off the field. That does not look like an expression of calm. He looks worried. Dennis Allen comes right over to him. Dr. King. Maybe having a hard time breathing.
Well, that might have been it. He went down, and his left arm was tucked right against his ribs, and that's what hit first.
All right, Matt McGloin, who led the Raiders on their only touchdown last Friday in Minneapolis, will be pressed in as it looked like Derek Carr has maybe a rib injury. 5:35 to play on the Raiders Broadcasting Network. Derek Carr is making his way towards the middle of the Raiders sideline. He's not made his way back into the tunnel, back into the locker room yet. As Rod Martin, the Raiders head trainer, attending to him. We believe it to be a rib injury. We're not certain though, but he was pointing in his midsection. So Matt McGloin, and this was not planned. He comes off the bench in the middle of this series here. 2nd and 10 Raiders on their 34. Raiders down 26-20 and still win this game. Jake Murphy goes in motion, lines up as a right slot. McGloin looks left down the sideline for Andre Holmes. Went up and grabbed it. Did he come down inbounds?
Yes.
Yes, he did on the Lion 37-yard line.
You got to admire old Matt McGloin, boy. Too small, not enough experience. Walks on at Penn State, signs as a free agent, yet he winds up, being a contender for that position each and every year.
Yeah, right off the bat, he goes up the field on a back shoulder pass.
There's Corey Sheets sneaking through and banging down inside the Lion 30, dropped on the 29-yard line, a gain of about 8. And McGloin went right to his partner from Thanksgiving Day in Dallas, Andre Holmes. Tom, that's the type of catch he's better at making.
They're going with a no-huddle offense,
trying to quick snap him to Corey Sheets. He'll power forward.
Got the first.
Pick up the first down. Raiders tried to quick snap him there. And now Derek Carr will make his way up the tunnel and go back into the Raider locker room, although will begin to medically assist him immediately. Does lift his helmet to acknowledge the crowd. Good numbers for Derek Carr. He was 9 of 16. And the touchdown pass. And we'll get your report either on TV or if we break away from the simulcast on radio as soon as we can to tell you about the injury to Derek Carr. 4.5 to play. Raiders can win this game still. There's McGloin rolling right, throwing low, incomplete to Greg Little. That play did not work. There was a play action involved, Tom, and the back went the wrong way. A little bit tough to have the quarterback jump in the middle of the series, and that was not the plan here tonight.
No, but as a backup quarterback, you've always got to be ready because all it takes is one play and you're in.
2nd and 10 for Matt McGloin. Raiders send a slot left. Greg Little inside of Andre Holmes. Janae Zalawale, a right wing at fullback. McGloin, a straight drop. Pump. Come back. Wide open, caught. Murphy lost the ball. He got popped out. It's a catch and a fumble. Actually, it's Scott Simonson. And he had his helmet knocked off. And what are they going to say? No catch? Or a catch fumble? They're saying they're rolling it over now. Simonson had his helmet knocked off. What a hit.
He might be saying catch down.
And then the Raiders would have it on the 1-yard line?
It didn't look like he was down.
I don't think he was down either.
Okay, well.
I'd say either it was a catch fumble or no catch. How about a personal foul for knocking his helmet off? Simonson on the seam route. That's got to be a personal foul.
Helmet, yeah.
That has got to be a personal. No matter what happened on the play, Dejon Gomes has got to be called for a personal foul.
I mean, they should have thrown a flag right there.
Yeah,
that should be a flag.
Is there a flag on the field at all?
Nothing.
That is a blatant helmet to helmet. Gomes just dropped the helmet and blew up Scott Simonson. Whether he caught it or not, it should be a personal foul.
The ruling on the field is a catch, a fumble, recovered by Detroit in the end zone.
And no personal foul.
And no personal foul.
Now, if this was a regular season game or even a they're going to fine him for that hit. And they're not going to call a personal foul for that hit.
If this were a regular season, it'd be disgraced by this unit crew.
Oh my God.
Bill Vinovich is again plunked though. The pump to the left, he came back, hit the seam route, and boy, can you challenge the fumble? That's debatable whether or not he had it long enough. But
It looked
when
to
he
me,
comes
1,
over, Dennis Allen's
2,
going to say,
3,
yeah, he had
you
the
know
ball.
what, he did have the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how is that not a personal? You know why? Because he's not a receiver anymore. Once he makes the catch, he's not deemed a defenseless receiver anymore.
Yeah.
No, but if a running back is running with the ball and you hit him helmet to helmet like that, it's
But he's
personal
not.
foul.
He's not a defenseless receiver anymore. Is the rule there? So that may be what they're thinking on that play.
Looked pretty defenseless to me.
What it is, a helmet to helmet on the tackle, and that was the rule last year, Tom. Both
Yeah.
they
Previous plays
tipped the
under
runners.
review.
Well, they're going to review it, so we'll see what they come up with.
And the runners, remember last year you could not have the crown of the helmet anymore, and you can't have the crown of the helmet involved in the tackle. So you're looking at it, it is a catch and it's a fumble. I think that part of it is Simonson, he may have a concussion the way he got popped. How would he avoid it? So he caught the ball in the 5, took 2 steps, and then the safety, Gomes, came in and just blew him up. Well, how do you allow that type of tackle?
Right.
Yeah, but I think what they're going to say is he was not a defenseless receiver. But your point is, that is, he drops the head. That's the crown of the helmet right into the ear hole.
And it should be a penalty.
It's got to be a personal foul, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
Now, if they call that with the catch fumble part still being play, and they mark it off after the fumble, is what they may do.
Well, it happened before the fumble. Caused the fumble.
Yeah. That's Joe Lombardi, the new offensive coordinator of the Lions, talking to Jim Caldwell. Joe Lombardi was the quarterback coach in New Orleans for a pretty good quarterback in Drew Brees, and yes, he is the grandson of the great Vince Lombardi. So right now they have ruled this a catch fumble and a recovery by the Lions in the end zone for a touchback, which gives the ball to the Lion 20-yard line. Here's Bill Vinovich. I don't know if they can call the personal foul based on the replay or not. I think you just got to confirm the catch fumble part.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands.
He didn't say confirm. I don't know if, Tom, if they can look in there and come up with a penalty after. McGloin's not happy because his receiver got ear-holed.
Yeah.
Well, he's feisty. Gotta let McGloin.
No, you do. I do. I certainly do. It's just a tough, hard-nosed kid, physically, mentally. And he gets the job done most of the time.
All right, Raiders need to get the ball back, and on defense, they do have 2 timeouts left. Kellen Moore will hand it off here to Stephen Miller, the back. Luka Mayava having a great second half, makes the tackle, the middle linebacker. No need to call a timeout yet, Tom, but there will be a point here with 4 minutes to go.
Well, they get them 3 and out. They don't need a timeout.
The Lions will keep him in the huddle as long as possible here. Play clock at 20 and 3:54 to play in the game. Raiders have outrushed the Lions 96-50. They're up on the line. The play clock at 7. Kellen Moore with a true eye behind him. Raiders loading up the box here. Moore hands off to Miller off the left side. And the Raiders make the tackle led by Terrell Troop. Raiders will not call a timeout here. Going to let the clock tick down. Under 3 minutes to play in the game. Remember, the Raiders get the ball back. They need a touchdown. Not a field goal, a touchdown. They're down 6 and the extra point. 3rd down and 6 coming in. Play clock at 15 now and 3:03 to play in the game. So the Lions will snap this with under 3 minutes to play. About 2:50 to play. 3rd and 6. And they may throw. Kellen Moore's going to the shotgun here. And it's a bubble to Peacock. And Peacock is tackled shy.
Now they're going to call that.
Now they will call a timeout before the 2-minute warning time with 2:44 to play. And as Jansen Watson who made the tackle, had a bit of a toe injury after the Minnesota game, but a nice open field tackle. Little guy, but he can hit. 5'9", 177.
30-second timeout.
All right, so the Raiders will force the punt with 2:44 to play in the game, down 26-20. Recently, Maurice Jones-Drew, John Kondo, and C.O. Moore visited the Pandora headquarters in Oakland and recorded spots for the Raider Nation station. Pandora created the station using iconic Raiders theme songs and players' song choices. C.O. Moore and MJD and Kondo. So tune into Pandora and check out the Raider Nation station. TJ Carey back to return the punt here of Drew Butler. Remember, one punter is Sam Martin. Butler trying to impress, and again, he is the son of longtime punter Kevin Butler. But the Bears mainly also Atlanta. Big high punt taken by Carey inside the 20, 25, 30. Breaks a tackle. Now dropped on the Raider 33-yard line. Nice return by TJ Carey. And Denarius Moore running back the punts tonight. Carey's had a strong second half. 53-yard punt by Butler, and the return by Carey was 13 yards. Well, here goes McGloin. Plunky has one timeout, 2-minute warning, and 2:32 to play, and he's got to get the Raiders all the way into the end zone starting on their 32-yard line.
Still plenty of time, move the ball down the field. You got to throw some little deeper routes this time.
3 receivers left. McGloin looking left, avoids a sack, throws, caught right at the sticks by Bryce Butler. First down Raiders.
He'll come back.
Flag is down, back in the offensive backfield.
Offense number 67. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's on Kevin Booth, longtime New York Giant, playing some center here. And he's called for the hold. It'll be a tough one. Raiders had a first down out to their 43, and now they're going to be pushed back to the 22.
There, once again, McGloin's under a lot of pressure. Can't find anybody open. Steps up, gets away from the pass rush, and delivers a strike for a first down. Unfortunately called back.
Clock does stop on the holding penalty. 2:24 to play in the game. McGloin in the gun, 3 receivers, including Jake Murphy, the tight end left. McGloin looking right, slips as he throws, and he short-armed it to Andre Holmes. He lost his footing.
Yeah, he did.
Tom, as he began to stride to throw. He was not on the dirt infield, the grass. He just lost his legs.
Yeah, he lost his footing, and that ball, because that would have been a completion for big yardage, almost a first down. He was falling down as he threw the ball.
Kind of hopped into it, Plunk, but he did not have good balance on that throw.
No, as you said, he lost his footing, couldn't get the ball there. Then he speed on it. 2nd
and 20. Now the Raiders go to a 2-by-2 formation. 2 left, 2 right. McGloin throwing, caught. Back to the original line of scrimmage is Greg Little. This will take us to the 2-minute warning here. And the Raiders will face a third down when we come back. We hit the 2-minute warning, and the Raiders are down 6 points. Detroit Lions 26. The Oakland Raiders 20. Big third down at about 9 when we come back for Matt McGloin and the Raiders from the O.Co Coliseum. This is the Raiders Broadcasting Network. All right, Lamar Woodley and the Raider first-team defense watching on the sideline here. It is third down, Coach Flores, but essentially you're in 4-down territory. You'd like to pick it up on third and not have to deal with a 4th down, but you do have 2 downs to pick this up.
Yeah, you got 2 downs to pick it up. If you don't pick it up, you can go no huddle. Assuming you have a game. You know, if it's an incomplete pass, then you go back and line up again.
3rd and 9. 3 receivers go left. Butler, Murphy, Little from in to out. Andre Holmes singled up right. McGloin in the gun. Jeremy Stewart now in. McGloin going to throw out right. Holmes slipped down, flag down. That'll be a penalty on the Lions and a first down for the Raiders.
That stops the clock.
Yes, it does. Jonte Green going to be called for either a PI or a hold. Big one on third down block.
Defense number 36. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
How about mugging?
Almost body slammed him.
All right, so the Raiders convert. First down Raiders. Back on their 38-yard line. There goes Matt McGloin trying to win this game. Lions missed an extra point off the right upright on their first try of the game from this new 33-yard distance. Same formation, 3 receivers right. Murphy inside, Butler then Little, and singled up on the right side is Andre Holmes. 1st and 10. McGloin looking right for Holmes. Comeback route, couldn't hang on to it. Got it in his hands, and Green able to pull it out of there. Going to this 3-by-1 formation, Plunk, and they're going to the one receiver side, and this time it's Andre Holmes twice in a row.
But he was covered very well that time and knocked the ball away. But yeah, sometimes you're looking for that one-on-one single outside, and that's what they do when they put three on one side and one on the other. They usually get it to the weak side.
Now the Raiders go 2-by-2. They put Jake Murphy, the tight end, in the slot. Greg Little outside of him right. Bryce Butler left slot. Andre Holmes outside of him. Lions showing a couple of A-gap blitzers. They both come. Stewart picks it up. McGloin throws to Holmes. Broken up, incomplete. Nice blitz pick up there by Jeremy Stewart. Mohamed Cisse, the corner, able to knock that ball away. 3rd down and 10 for the Raiders. Well, nicely done by Jeremy Stewart to pick up one of those inside blitzers and bury him plumb.
Yeah, that was not a very good pass. That ball was thrown low, low and behind.
He had to make it catchable, and he wasn't able to do it with the pressure coming up the middle.
Terrell Austin, the first-year defensive coordinator of the Lions, but again, Gunther Cunningham lording over this defense. McGloin will throw out left to Butler, has some room to go to get the first down, drops his shoulder. I don't know if he got it. It'll be either 1st and 10 or 4th and 1.
Pretty close.
Dennis Allen wants the first down. Where's the clock going here? It's still ticking at 1:30 now. Timeout to measure. As you suggested, Plunk. Boy, it's close. What do you think?
It looked like he came up short initially, but when they spotted the ball, he might have a chance.
Like what Butler did. Remember last week in Minnesota, he caught the ball, failed to go out of bounds at the end. This time he just dropped his shoulder and got whatever he could, and he got either enough for the first down or plenty to give the Raiders a 4th and very short. And they're going to stretch it out, and it's going to be 4th and short. They didn't get it, but they can pick it up on 4th down now. We're talking inches. There's a big play with 1:27 to play. Going looking over the sideline, and Greg Olson to get the play. Raiders do have one timeout remaining. They would like to use that time to work the field. You got half the field yet to go.
Well, you got 2 ways to go. You pick up the first down, call 2 plays, or you pick up the first down and you could kill the ball.
Yeah.
And waste it down, but you'd save yourself a timeout.
But the first thing is you got to pick up the first down.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't do it. I'd do exactly what they're doing here with the wide open formation.
They're going 3 receivers. Butler and Holmes slotted right. Greg Jenkins now, and this could be a quarterback sneak here by McGloin. It is off the left side. He's got it. First down.
I'll get up and get the other play going right now.
Let's go fast. Either a spike or a timeout.
Or call a play.
Now they're not going to call timeout. They got a play called. They got plenty of time. You're over a minute. You're at midfield. You got to score a touchdown. Now they go right back to that same formation. Slot right. There's McGloin rolling out right. Rolling and looking, cocking and throwing down the sideline. Broken up. Comeback route to Andre Holmes. 2 Lions there to knock the ball out. Well, the clock stops with 59 seconds to play in the game. Well, he likes Andre Holmes, doesn't he?
He does.
He throws to him a lot.
Sometimes the backup quarterbacks have a little rapport with the players that they work out with all the time. And it's just second nature to go to him in crucial situations.
That time Holmes slipped on the comeback route, and Jonte Green, the young corner from New Mexico State, almost picked that ball. Right at midfield. 2nd and 10 Raiders. Slot again right. Greg Little left. McGloin back. Throws out right. High ball. Caught by Andre Holmes. Feet down. Out of bounds to stop the clock on the Lion 37-yard line. Here they go again. McGloin to Holmes.
Nice job in getting and coming back on that. Good throw. Nice job in keeping your feet in. Pretty close.
You got that second one down?
Yeah, it was pretty close.
There's one. Yeah, he got it down. He
got
them
both, yeah.
He tapped it. 53 seconds to play in the game. 37 yards away from a game-tying touchdown. The point after would win it. McGloin back. Looking left. Throws check down. Jeremy Stewart. And he got hit inside the 30. Nicely done by Stewart, the former Stanford Cardinal. Here they go. They got that timeout yet to use. And McGloin going to call it right at the line. 35 seconds to play in the game. 2nd and 1 Raiders on the line, 28. We'll take a shot for the end zone here. McGloin going to throw it out. Cut right. Holmes through his arms. He had it. on the Lion 14-yard line, and he could not secure it.
And that was a great throw by McGloin. He anticipated, he was under pressure. He threw it way before the break was to come, and he put it right on the money. Should have been caught.
Should have been caught. Absolutely. Ball was thrown perfectly.
Yeah. Another
Good
drop
timing
by Andre Holmes.
You got to catch those balls. That would have been a catch and out of bounds.
Around inside the 20-yard line.
Still got that one timeout time. You got to get the first down first, right? It's 3rd and 1.
Got to get the first down, and then you might have to go for the end zone every time.
McGloin in the gun now. Jeremy Stewart to his left, 2-by-2 formation. Murphy and Little left. Butler and Holmes right. And now, what do they call delay game? Oh, boy.
Offense, number 14.
That's a tough error.
5-yard penalty.
That's a tough mistake. The 3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and 6, Plunk. Can't make that mistake.
That's all the quarterback there. You got to know the clock. It's right in front of you. You got to look at it, and you got to be able to get the play going.
Now it's 3rd and 6, back out on the Lion 33-yard line.
They need a play inside the 20-yard line. Really help them big time.
Now they go bunch formation right. Holmes singled up left. McGloin back on 3rd down. Throws. Broken up. Bryce Butler flying down on the Lions. It is a PI on Nevin Lawson, the corner. Just reached around early. That should be a spot foul. Clock will stop with 21 seconds to go.
Yeah, you're about the 19-yard line. That's
Pass
where the ball is.
Defense number 43.
Going to be on the 19-yard line. You got a timeout left, so you don't have to go into the end zone.
Well, at some point you got to score a touchdown.
Right. Yeah, well, that's true. But I'm trying this first pass. You don't have to go in the end zone on the first one, and then call your timeout, and then go in the end zone the rest of it, remainder until you score.
They're inside the red zone. It's a little more congested when you get closer to the goal line. McGloin has Greg Little right, slot left, Butler inside Andre Holmes. McGloin back. McGloin going to throw for the end zone for Little. Back in the end zone, no. He caught the football but did not keep the feet in bounds in the back corner of the end zone. 15 seconds to go.
It was awfully close, boy.
Little stutter and go. Not a lot of room. Well defended by Jonte Green. Did not get the feet down.
2nd and 10.
Second down and 10, Raiders. 15 seconds to go. This is good work from Matt McGloin. Andre Holmes goes wide right, bunch formation left. Murphy the point, Butler and Little behind. High snap, McGloin gets it down, looking left, throwing for the end zone. He overshot Little. He had Little open for a touchdown, but he overshot him. Had him, Tom, on the post route.
Sure did. I think they were anticipating that they were going to run up routes, and they ran to the inside route, which was a good route to call. If he had caught that ball, that's a touchdown. If that ball had been down a little lower.
Little did not get his arms up in the air again. Not sure if he would have fully extended, Plunk, if he could have pulled that in.
I don't know. That was pretty high.
3rd and 10. Got 2 shots at it from the 19-yard line. 3rd down. They got a bunch left, singled up Holmes right. McGloin back. Plenty of time. Hardly a rush. Going to throw for the end zone. Wide open! Touchdown! Raiders! Bryce Butler wide open. McGloin does it again.
How did that happen? He got so wide open.
No rush time. No rush.
Great protection. They had a 4-man rush. Everybody else was back in coverage, and they played a zone.
The Butler did it. We're not done yet. Are we worried about a 33-yard extra point?
Yeah.
This is not your garden variety extra point. Remember, the whole reason this is a chance to win the game. Their guy Freeze kicked it off the right upright. Janikowski to win the game here. 6 seconds to go. Kondo, King, extra point is good. The Raiders lead 27-26.
I tell you have to admire McGloin because even after he threw the touchdown pass and he just turned and put his hands out like, well,
hey, I admire that young man. He's done a great job.
After the injury to Derek Carr, we're concerned about the ribs. Here it is, our California Ford dealers play of the game. Matt McGloin to a wide open Bryce Butler. Touchdown Raiders. Don't miss the Summer Spectacular sales event now playing at a Ford dealer near you.
So what composure by that young man, McGloin. You know, he stood back in the pocket, looked around, and found Bryce Butler wide open in the end zone.
Matt McGloin. Wasn't always easy, but we did it. 13 plays, 68 yards, and 226, and Matt McGloin to Bryce Butler for the assumed game winner with 6 seconds to go. Still got to get the kickoff here. It'll be a squib. They won't rip it and then cover this up. A reminder one last time, cops all across the country are cracking down on drunk driving, and there's one thing you can be sure of. They'll see you before you see them. Drive sober or get pulled over. There's the kick by Janikowski. He'll squib it. Big hop. Taken by an up lineman. This is the center, Swanson. He's going to run the game out, Swanson. All the way to the 50-yard line. Game is over. The Raiders win it because of an extra point.
Yep.
Theirs got missed off the upright, and the Raiders make theirs. This is the last week we'll have these 33-yard extra points, by the way. What a game. What a game,
very
James.
exciting.
Wasn't that
Great
fun?
comeback. Happy for the Raiders and the coaches as well. They put a lot of work into this game.
And McGloin is the hero. We are concerned about Derek Carr and the rib injury. We'll get your report immediately. JT the Brick will bring us home on TV. If he has an update on TV, we'll get it for you over on radio. We'll hear Dennis Allen's post-game press conference. We'll get you an update on Derek Carr's ribs on the radio side. For Jim Plunkett and Tom Flores, Raiders win it 27-26, and the Butler did it on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network.